We've got the peaceful music. Do 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 do. Alrighty. It's time for the stream. I don't know how long this stream is going to be, so we'll see. I'd say that a lot. And I don't have that much to talk about this stream because, I mean, we're not only is the patch ending here, so there's nothing to really do in game. That's not just, you know, like, there's nothing to do. And on top of that, the next patch is not interesting to talk about. Like, here, let me summarize my thoughts on version 4.5 for you. Yeah, that's my thoughts on version 4.5. So, that's a joke. I have plenty of thoughts about Chiori, but I made a whole stream about that last week, I believe. You can go check that out. If I'm a smart boy, I'll remember to link it in the comments or description or something after I'm done streaming. Actually, you know what? I'll just leave a note for myself to do that, because if I don't leave a note for myself, I almost assuredly won't do that. But anyways, I wanted to talk about Xiao a little bit, because... well, okay, so this is going to be a spoiler, so I guess I'll wait a second for people to join in. But I got Xiao, constellations on Polearms Only. We're on Polearms Only today. And, yeah, that wasn't intentional. It was not intentional to get that many copies of Xiao. But I want to talk about it for this stream. So, anyways, let me leave that note for myself while we let people join into the live stream here. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, I'm basically just going to discuss this might turn into its own condensed video in some form. Not necessarily editing down this stream, but thanks, Xiao. Not necessarily editing down this stream, but I might make a dedicated video about Xiao now that I have the constellations an excuse at least to. Xiao on Polearms Only specifically, but maybe Xiao in general too. Xiao in general is a DPS. Okay, I'm never going to finish writing down this note. What was even the note supposed to be? Frick. Oh, link Chiori video in description. But anywho, the on-screen chat is so laggy. What do you mean by laggy? I mean, there's always a delay. Yes. That's just you're basically seeing the stream delay is what you're seeing there. YouTube has a default stream delay of, like, I think at least 30 seconds. I can set it to low latency, but my internet is not consistently reliable enough, in my opinion, to have it make sense to have a lower stream delay is all I can say. So for an ideal streaming experience that isn't total garbage most of the time, you need a little bit of stream delay. So that's all it is. Anywho's, distracted. So what do I think about the new free polearm? Oh, I mean, it's weird that they're releasing. It's basically, I haven't even crafted it. Lucky me, I haven't wasted any billets on it, right? It's basically a free version of the Fontaine craftable polearm, right? And that is, it exists. It's not useless, to be clear. But at the same time, I think the fact that both the craftable and the new one exists is a little bit odd. And it's really insulting, like with how freaking god awful hard it is to get billets in this game. Like, I have a stockpile on this account because it's a Polearm Only account. I haven't exactly had reason to use the billets that weren't Polearms. So, you know, it like, why, right? Like, what was the purpose of making them so similar? To be clear, they are different in, like, minor ways. I don't even have it unlocked. I can't even show it. So I don't know. They're weird. They are minorly different in ways that are, like, not irrelevant technically in how their buff works or the passive works. But they're similar enough that it's just kind of confusing, and it's one of those things that's like, okay, why didn't, if they just put, like, a different secondary stat on the craftable, it would have made more sense, right? But they didn't, so should have put Raiden or Raiden on TOM for the Xiao video. Shake my head. Zhongli was on Tenacity, so, and that buff should have been up most of the time. And it's not like I was having a problem with his Paler hitting the enemies in this current Abyss cycle. They don't move around that much. They mostly stay in the center of Abyss, right? So there's no reason to do Tenacity on Raiden. I know you're just joking, but yeah. So, anywho's, yeah, there's a claim all button in the Forge now. Annoyingly, though, there's not like a claim all, and just because like 99% of the time I just go into the Forge. I don't need to do it on the Forge, like ever on Polearms Only, by the way. But 99% of the time, the only time I'm going here is just for claiming it and then doing the weekly ones again. But yeah, I have like I have like 8,400 ore. Yeah. Well, wait, one of the things, don't let me freaking forget. One of the things I want to do this stream is potentially co-op things. That's one of the reasons I want to stream today. I need to freaking, so I bought another copy of the Battle Pass. I don't know if I'm going to commit to getting R5 of this weapon, but my main thinking for trying to get this weapon is to be able to use Staff of Scarlet Sands. It's basically the, I was going to say poor man's version of it. It's not a poor man's version because getting R5 of any Battle Pass weapon is kind of not a poor man thing. It's just kind of a insane man thing. But anyways, this gives 240 EM at R5. That's more than Dragon's Bane. And on top of that, it's a crit stat stick. I think it would be Rosaria, like Mount Rosaria's second best weapon. I think for a vape Xiangling I have planned, it might actually be a good option for her. Not that I need it for her when I have so many other options. But like, anyways, point is, I'm running into more situations where I feel like I should have this thing leveled up. Particularly for Mount Rosaria, I think it's the most sensible option after Staff of Scarlet Sands. And right now I really, really, really like keeping Raiden on Staff of Scarlet Sands with my goofy habit build, right? So, anyways, need to level that up this video, remind me. And Tenacity Raiden with Arlecchino Overload, true. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We have some DPS stats on our tenacity pieces because, you know, that do be how farming goes sometimes. And it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We'd just be stealing pieces from Zhongli, to be clear. Oh, I don't have an attack percent time piece. No. Anyways, so yarp. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but it wouldn't be entirely cope is all it really comes down to. We'll see what Arlecchino is, by the way. I've already replied in the comments of the Xiao summons that the biggest sad aspect of the getting, so I guess I haven't even shown it, and just in case you haven't seen, I wished for C6 Xiao. I got C6 Xiao. C6 Xiao is great. I'll talk about her shortly here. There's one stupid thing. This is also probably something I had to put in a pinned comment, or whatever. Not in this video, but probably in the Xiao video. I think I said like Xiao C6 was not good for single target. That was just like in the beginning of the video. That was just not true. That's misinformation. It is good for increasing our single target Dendro application. That's part of the reason I actually justified deciding to do more pulls for the chance of it. I didn't intend to get C2 Xiao. Like I swear to you. I swear to you. If I had not gotten that early Xiao at 66 pity, I believe that's what it was at when I counted it before. If I did not get that early Xiao at 66 pity, I would have stopped. I swear. I swear, okay? I swear it. Because I don't think C6 Xiao is that important, but Xiao is the only polearm that's a Dendro unit on the account, right? And her biggest downside on the account is her single target application. So... Anyway, so yeah, he's 2 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 50, 55, 60, 64. So yeah, 66 pity. Yep, I got an early Xiao with a 50-50 win at 66 pity, and then another Xiao at 7 pity with a 50-50 win. And this is after that like literal back-to-back Raiden pull happened, I think, too. So the last 3 5-stars in Polearms Only have all been early. And now Arlecchino's probably going to take 90 pity or something insane because we're overdue for bad luck at this point. Oh boy. But it would have been really nice if these were Arlecchinos, right? But anyway, maybe it doesn't matter because maybe Arlecchino is a useless character for Polearms Only because why do we need a polearm? Pyro polearm is on field, I should say. Well, okay, we haven't clear up. We have not gotten any like actual like beta leaks or anything that like we will know probably in a week ish what Arlecchino's kit actually is like in game. I am smelling another Chiori situation though, wherein like right before release, there was like 8 different people saying like this, and this is things that this character will do, and then like nope, none of those were true. So we'll see what Arlecchino's actually like, right? I'm not gonna say anything consistently about her right now. But if she is just a Pyro Polearm on-fielder, she's competing with Hu Tao on Polearms Only as far as relevance. She might be good, but like if she's a Pyro Polearm on-fielder and she's reliant on like triggering overloads, for example, like if overloads is a gimmick, I think that's an interesting gimmick. At least it like doesn't mean it should be necessarily that good or bad in any particular way. It just is an interesting gimmick to force overloads, right? And like, hey, I have Chevreuse, so it seems like on Polearms Only that should be a big win, right? Like, hey, they make a Pyro DPS unit that is to incentivize overloads, and I have the overload support. Yes, that is good, except for I need an Electro character to trigger overloads. And that's only Raiden. That's like, it's just Raiden. And it's good that I'm getting a lot of use out of Raiden. I'm getting a lot more use out of Raiden than I was before, now that Chevreuse exists. But my point with that is like, I don't think Arlecchino is going to be fundamentally different for if she's an on-fielder. I don't think Arlecchino is going to be fundamentally that different for Polearms Only than just like this team is. Like it would Hu Tao would be replaced by Arlecchino, which frees up Hu Tao for the other side of Abyss, which is an upside. But like, is that really going to be the best thing about Arlecchino on Polearms Only? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, right? I'm going to remain optimistic. There's a very good chance because she's a Harbinger, so at least be flashy and fun to play, and she'll be an excuse to make content. I do think it would have been probably better, though, to get Arlecchino constellations. I mean, it was my guess. My guess is that Arlecchino constellations are going to be of higher value than these. Part of why I wanted to do this stream was I want to figure out a way to use these, but I think these are some of the worst constellations in the game. Realistically, C2 I just don't get, to be honest. It's not technically useless, but oh my god, for a 5-star constellation, it is truly garbage. I could technically, you know, on a math level, I could try to outline how like this is technically more useful than a C1 in normal use cases. So there's that. But hey, at least C1 is more interesting on paper because additional skill uses can be fun, right? And it has like overworld value, I guess. Like, hey, I can do this in overworld. This is not useless, but he doesn't have any like cooldown reduction or anything for like Cloud Retainer reduces her cooldown when she doesn't like use her jump. If Xiao did that for overworld and that like let him become a lot better overworld character, I'd be very happy with the C1. But he has a friggin' 10-second cooldown on his skill. Like, what does the additional skill do for him? It means now he functionally, if he wants to get if you do EEE, right, in combat, if I like, you do EEE, 2, 3, let's just wait here, I'll just wait here until all the skills come back, right? And it's 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds is not how long basically any character's abilities take to line up in this game. There's a reason like 20-second rotation is kind of the standard. So C1 does next to nothing. It's not even a consistent like energy recharge reduction for him in normal cases. It's like an average energy recharge reduction, but per rotation it's not, because some rotations would get additional skills and some rotations wouldn't. So you have to balance his energy recharge stats for rotations that wouldn't. Here's a preview. So what does it actually do? I don't know, man. I don't know. This character suffers from MiHoYo did not know what they wanted to structure constellations like early on. And they realistically, their intention with C1 was probably just its relevance for C6. And we're not going for C6, I'm sorry. It was a joke in my video today to imply that I might, but I'm not. So anyways, yep. So will I oil up for 50k subs? What does that even mean? I'm sorry. What does oil up for 50k subs mean? Try her in Burgeon if Candace can confuse her. That is a good idea. Yes, we can do Candace shenanigans with lots of characters on Polearms Only. So yeah, if Arlecchino does some amount of pyro application that's tied to her burst, like not her normal attacks, right? Because like that's something I can't do with her. She can't like be applying hydro, generating dendro cores while doing pyro damage. So if Arlecchino does not have pyro damage that is infusion based, and therefore she can take advantage of Candace infusion, that would be actually of significant potential creative utility. I don't know what Arlecchino's kit actually looks like now. We don't actually have any real info about what her kit will look like in game, so I can't comment on that. But anyways, yes, I already did make a video on the 4-star, the new banner, if you want my thoughts on that. So TLDR of the new banner thoughts though is I think it changes next to nothing. I do think the new banner changes almost nothing. But it we'll see what it is in long term. So anyways, so yeah, Xiao C6. Basically, if you read her C6, it tells you what it does. So I accidentally said, and I should have corrected myself later in the video, but I intended to, but I just forgot to say it when I was like mentioning that like I'm just gonna do more wishes. So I'm dumb. I'll add it in as a pinned comment, hopefully. Yeah, for every 2 radishes that Uruguay throwaway mode throws out, so Uruguay throwaway mode is what her skill does, right? I do not believe her. Oh no, it is in her burst. So I don't know exactly how many extra units of dendro. Let's actually try to count. But any of those big radishes that Uruguay throws out, because it says the next throw will for every 2 radishes she throws out, the next throw will also is important there, will also be thrown out that has a larger AoE. And I believe that her C6, all the big radishes always apply dendro. So in single target situations, just her skill alone is an additional 2 applications of dendro per rotation, which is an additional like 2 dendro cores that can be generated, an additional 2 instances of hyperbloom. That's an additional potential, 60,000 damage per rotation just from having C6 Xiao in a single target situation. And again, like her single target dendro application is her main weakness on this account. Let's go refill her burst and count how many of those actual big radishes you get, because I am not sure. Coward should have gone for C4 to get a Xiao billion damage. True, I definitely should have. I mean, at the rate I was getting Xiaos, I could realistically get C6 Xiao, but I'm not going to count on that, especially with a Polearm 5-star existing soon. Probably. Watch Arlecchino. I mean, okay, if we get, well, no, it's probably not gonna have, well, I don't know. Sometimes the beta comes out and we get like proper kit leaks before release. If by some chance she's not a Polearm character, then maybe, I guess, but man, like this, I don't even think this would be very good. I'm sorry. It's not that good of a constellation, actually. It's interesting in allowing him to be played differently. It's not, that doesn't mean good though. So anyways, yeah, C4 Xiao for the defense % bonus. I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, climb that wall. So you get 2 big radishes, it says in the description. Oh, is it limited by 2 big radishes? So it's only 2 units. Oh yeah. Every Uruguay throwing mode can throw out a maximum of 2 big radishes. I wasn't sure. I'll go double check it quick though. I'm not sure if the burst causing, because you might be able to cheat out an extra one, right? Is my thinking. I haven't looked into anything, like not that many people have Xiao C6 because it's just like not that relevant for the vast majority of accounts. It is potentially relevant for Polearms Only, right? And that's why I wanted it. It's like, okay, what else would, like, there's a Polearm 5-star on the banner. When are we really going to have that realistic of an option for it? Option to get it? And even then, I wasn't even necessarily planning on intending to get it. I was just like hoping to get some constellations to get closer to it, right? Because if I even if I only got 1 constellation in that video, that would have put me a lot closer to C6 for the next time Xiao reran. But then I got the early Xiao and I was like, well, now my pity is reset. May as well. And then, well, I got the early Xiao with C5 Xiao, and then I was 1 away. And it's like, okay, then we may as well. And then I got another Xiao, and that's how it happens, right? So, yeah, that was a waste of, realistically, that was a waste of like 60 wishes. But we have 20 pity right now, remember? And I have 110 wishes I can get right here. I have 50 wishes I can get right here. I have enough to more than guarantee getting Arlecchino right now. right? And Arlecchino is still a month and a half away at least, or over a month and a half away. So it'll be fine. It just means like, okay, the chance of getting her weapon is much lower, but the wishes that we spent on this banner were not enough to guarantee her weapon anyways. It would be enough to guarantee a 37% chance at her weapon. Actually, no, I think we're actually on a I think we lost to a standard banner weapon the last time. You gonna load? I think we lost to a standard banner weapon the last time we wish. Yeah, we lost to Almospo. I forgot about that. So actually, we would have a 50-50 chance for Arlecchino's weapon, but we should be able to have enough. Very likely, we should be able enough to go for like a chance of Arlecchino's weapon, regardless of what this happened. I don't really think this actually affected anything. I did decide to buy another battle pass, or sorry, another Welkin to rebuild the resources just a little bit, because there is a good chance I will end up happily going for constellations, especially if they throw either Toma constellations in the banner. Like these are the last one that has like meaningfully valuable constellations, other than like Rosaria, and Toma is the only one I don't have the constellation 6 on it at all for the 4 stars in the account now. C4 Rosaria is potentially meaningful, and C5 Rosaria is not useless, but C6 Rosaria is not relevant. And then all of Toma's constellations potentially are relevant, and I would like them. But I don't want to like wish just for Toma necessarily. So, you know, like I don't want to wish on Yai's banner just for Toma. Imagine if I wish for Yai instead. You see, actually, this is the funniest comparison I could probably make. Xiao C2 is so useless that I think having Yai Miko C1 would have been more useful for Polearms Only. And you might be like, what? How does that make any amount of sense at all? Well, this is really dumb. I acknowledge that this statement is extraordinarily dumb, but also, on an objective level, I think this is true. I think Yai, not Yai C1, but having Yai at all on Polearms Only would be more useful than having these Xiao constellations. The reason being is Yai has a passive that when you know how when you craft these talent materials, you have like Xing Cho that gives a 25% chance to refund? Yai has a 25% chance to refund, but she refunds a different material type of the same region. Now, the reason that's useful, and like could have been meaningful on Polearms Only. I didn't think about this when I was wishing. Otherwise, like I would have done like the poll where I got C2 Xiao. I would have done it on Yai. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I just didn't think about it because when is this ever relevant, right? But like, anyways, let me look at the materials I have. So, for example, we don't know what Arlecchino will end up using. Look at all of these juicy philosophies of whatever the burgers. I don't know why I said burgers there, but look at all these Fontaine materials I use. Which one will Arlecchino use? I don't know. Like, chances are, and you can see, like, I have a stockpile of like. Well, actually, these are for like Toma, and these are for Sino. Actually, I think I have a lot more than I need for Sino at this point, but. Oh, actually, Mondstadt is one of the best examples. There is no freaking Mondstadt character in the game that is a polearm character that uses freedom or resistance. For some reason, every one of them uses Ballad, from what I recall. all the Mondstadt polearms, and that's annoying. So, you know, I could level up my. I mean, at this point, I think I have most talents leveled up, although. I have been farming a little bit. I'm planning to crown Hu Tao, crown Shenhe. Actually, I finished farming for this already. There you go. Crown. Congrats. I am going to crown Hu Tao as well. I actually already have the materials for that, but I'm going to wait for actual video to do that. So I want to record that. But anyways, this is recorded. I could get the clip, but distracted. Xiangling, right? So like, oh no, Xiangling's a Leo character. What am I smoking? You use Ballad for some godforsaken reason. Whereas Rosaria, you use Ballad, I think, for some point is, right? Yai Miko, for example, could have converted over these Mondstadt materials to at a low conversion rate to philosophies of Ballad and guides to Ballad for leveling up my Rosaria's normal attack talents. And same thing for like these unused teachings of gold or whatever. I could have converted into philosophies of prosperity so that I can crown Guoba, because I'm actually planning to crown Guoba soon, right? Like, that, on an objective level, has measurable utility to the account, because oftentimes I just don't have a use for a lot of these, and you get a lot of them incidentally built up from exploration. And like, this 20 philosophies of justice I have, well, Arlecchino might be philosophies of equity or order. I hope not. I hope she's, you know, for my resin. I mean, it won't be the end of the world, right? But I hope for my resin I can, you know, save some time farming, and she uses one of these two. But hey, like, if she was either one of them and I had Yai, I could convert them over a little bit. It's, again, like, RNG, not good. It's mostly just a silly thing that's like a funny thing you can do with Yai. But Xiao C1 and C2 are so useless that that stupid minor thing with Yai it could have been more useful than to this account than Xiao's constellations. Like, so anyways, like, it's just like, oh man, so lament, that's what you should do. Anyways, sounds like an excuse for gambling addiction. Yeah, true. So that's why I'm wishing a guy on Polearms Only. No. But anyways, in hindsight, it would have been smarter to wish on Yai's banner than Xiao's banner on Polearms Only, because that's how poop this is. Oh well, hindsight is 20/20, and it won't really affect me that much. It's fine. Speaking of, by the way, we need to, how many of these do I have? I have 16 of these. I actually need to go spend a tiny bit more resin in this domain today, because it's a Sunday. I might actually use some fragile resin. That's part of my justification for buying the battle pass, was that I would get fragile resin to do some talent farming. Not that I would need to, but I can. If I'm gonna make a dedicated video on Xiao, I want to level his skill up. Like, I got to see one, right? I gotta level his skill up more. So, you know, you gotta farm a little bit more for this. I'm not gonna crown it or anything, because I don't have that many crowns. I have 7 crowns left. There's a very good chance Arlecchino's gonna get 2 or 3 of them. I just gave Shenhe 1. I plan to give Hu Tao another 1. I plan to give Global 1. That's 3 crowns right there. So, yeah, and then if I give, like, Arlecchino 3 crowns, and G, I just went from 7 crowns to 0. So, sorry, Xiao was not getting a crown, but I will take his skill up to equivalency. So, you know, people can't be like, you're doing skill damage, Xiao, and not leveling his talent. Nope, I will. There's not much reason not to at least take it to level 9. So, anyways, I think it takes 12, right? It's 4, oh, no, I need, wait, brain. What does it take? It takes 12, right? Yeah, 12, okay. And it takes 4 and then 6, so I need 22, right? Yeah, I need 22 philosophies of prosperity total to be able to take his talent to level 12, and then hopefully Child, I already farmed it this week, but hopefully Child gives me these materials this week too, because I would really prefer not to use my dream solvents, but if I have to, oh well. So, also, I'm definitely not going to be able to triple crown Arlecchino right away, by the way, because she's almost 100% coming with a new weekly boss. Which, yep, so anyways, I might pre-farm enough to be able to, theoretically, as soon as I get the weekly boss materials, but, man, the weekly boss materials is the real limitation on being able to level up things, so, whatever. Anyways, let's, not you. Oh god, this just reminded me I need to farm Eula books. Have fun. Oh, we're almost at AR60, by the way, which is nice. Once we get to AR60 is when I was planning to make some kind, I don't know what exactly I'm going to structure it as, but some kind of a Polearms Only and retrospective video. Not that page. What did I go here for? I went to craft my resin, I think. I don't have the freaking bugs. Oh my god. Praying Arlecchino uses the whale boss drop. She almost assuredly doesn't. They've always released... Excuse me? Can we not lag when I need to catch the bugs? Internet. I love that this is a thing in this game. Whatever. Can you not? Oh my god, Jesus. Gotta be careful not to hit them with my skill, otherwise I'll kill them. C6 main Yayo, worth it. I agree. Oh yeah, we gotta test the Yayo thing with her burst quick. the main thinking is, right, because so it says, you know, when she's in her burst, the behavior of this version of Yugoi is the same as the throwing mode, but which means, you know, and this says every Yugoi throwing mode can throw out a maximum of 2 mega radishes. I'm not sure if they count as like separate like instances of Yugoi throwing mode versus her skill and her burst, which means her skill gets 2 additional instances of application every rotation, and her burst gets 2 instances of application every rotation. With her C6, it's more likely it's just 2, realistically, and it doesn't treat them as independent instances that each get 2 additional. But it might be. I don't know. We'll find out. We might do co-op things later, by the way, for that person that was trying to join randomly, if you were trying to join from the stream. But I'll be joining other people's worlds to farm for the annoying weapon. This weapon. The only reason this is not leveled, I have the materials for it. I just haven't... I have the talent materials. I just don't have these. So, anyways, we'll go test Xiao after we get her burst back at some point here. We need some buggers though. I want to get Xiao's talent materials farmed up enough so I can just make a video on that as soon as I feel like recording it. Cough. 1 second. I take some drink of water from my throat. Wow. Too much talking. I have a whopping 4. The heart is cutting off your message, Sylveon. I can't actually see what number you put there, but I'm just gonna assume that's not many. Yeah, Eula being on the new banner is interesting. I don't know. So if you saw my poll, I did. It seems like I'm going to be wishing for both a weapon and a character on that banner. I'm probably going to reach out to Paimon's Bargains today, actually, and see if they're interested in sponsoring that video to ease that pain a little bit, because I don't have enough resources on my main account just to like willy-nilly throw them in the dumpster on that banner, because that's what I consider it. At least as the banner currently exists for what I enjoy with the game. But I'm not going to like be upset about having some new options to play around with characters. The main question is, though, I don't know which character I'm going to like choose to go for, so I'm probably going for a character and a weapon. I think I'll go for Dia's weapon, although if I lose the 50-50 for Dia's weapon, I'm probably not going to try to like, guarantee it. I'll just lose the fate point and switch over to the character banner, is my guess. Because it seems like people want to see the character aspect and the weapon aspect to it, right? So, anyways, yeah. The other thing... Let's go over here. I don't know why I went so far over there. So if I'm doing wishing on both, right, I'm just gonna do video of like, you know, what does $200 get you on the new Cherish banner in Genshin, right? And that's gonna be the video format, and it's gonna be talking about and showing what the value is like of spending your wishes on that banner. And in my case, I will be spending money on it just because. That's I think the easiest like measurable way to show the values. Be like, spend X amount of dollars and see what results from it, right? And obviously it's gambling content, which is potentially entertaining. So you know, I think it'll be a meaningful video. As always, I try to like make my videos be slightly more than just gambling content when I do wishing videos. But anyways. It's just me, does Genshin look much better recently? You play on a potato laptop, but you can still notice the difference. That's interesting. I mean, they have been doing graphical updates, like a little bit more lately, which has been really cool. 4.4 notably, I think, introduced the dynamic character resolution, which is probably, if you have a potato laptop, was probably off by default. But like, if you notice, like Key Robert's hexagon tails, for example, like it's just higher polygon detail. Those are gone if you turn on the higher character resolution toggle. Which it's dynamic, which is to say, if it determines that it can do the higher resolution or higher quality character models, it will. If it can't, it still theoretically does the lower ones, but there is probably a performance hit for that. But the game is locked to 60 FPS unless you use that one tool or whatever online. So anyways, they also did, I think, I forgot what it was, but volumetric fog I think they added, and then I think they added some other stuff that I'd say just made the minor like visual improvements on PC at least. So yeah, Anyways, I don't know what I was trying to say with the new banner. I don't know who the heck I want to go for. As far as here we go. There we got Xiao's burst spec. So we're not going to use it against an enemy because we want to be able to see the targeting. But yeah, there's the interesting thing about the character banner, of course, is like the potential to lose to limit. Like there is the possibility that you select Eula, for example, and you do wishes for Eula on the new banner, and you lose a 50-50 albedo, and then get a Eula as an early, and then you get another early and get a Klee. Like, just the fact that you can get like 3 limited banner characters in like 1 10 pull as a possibility is really funny to me, and that's I think the fun thing about the banner. Do I think that's going to happen? No, that's extraordinarily unlikely, but it's a possibility, and that's what I think is fun. Anyways, I don't know what character I want to choose to go for. It's probably Albedo or Eula. Either of them are not useful to me on my main account, but either of them I could envision ways to utilize them in some way or another. And that's kind of all it comes down to. It's probably not going to be Klee. If I get Klee as a 50-50 loss, and we'll see. But anyways, I'm leaning towards Eula simply because Eula is not very good, but I think she was more interesting with how she was designed, with how like rare it is that MiHoYo makes physical DPSs. And I think there's some shenanigans I could do. Like, I don't know, all the non-physical Eula variations. Like, let's be real, plunge vape Eula is probably better than physical Eula. But anyways, there's shenanigans I feel like I could do with Eula. Not to mention if I'm wishing for Dia's weapon and I end up getting Dia's weapon too, Eula will make more sense, I think, at that point, because Dia's weapon should be a pretty good weapon for Eula. So, anyways. Was talking more about the environment, but that I was talking about the environment stuff too. The not just the character resolution thing. I think it's subsurface scattering and volumetric fog is probably and then global illumination happened back in 4.0 as well. So they've been doing a bunch of little minor things that, if your PC can run it, has made the game look meaningfully better. I agree. So not necessarily on Mondstadt here. Mondstadt looks mostly the same, but it still looks better, I would say, which is cool. I don't like 5-star constellations. Me either. So, anyways, was it 15k or 1500 from Xiao? I mean, right there was probably so interestingly, because of the fact that the end result, by the way, of the DPS Xiao video, I put Xiao back on a supportive build, but because realistically, when Yao's critting and landing crits when you have quicken up on an enemy, just the additive bonus from like the amount of EM she has, which with an HP build on her, right, with her 24,000 HP and her C4, I think that converts out to, let's math time, 24,000 times 0.03, that's 72 EM, so about 80 EM, right? This is a DPS oriented build. So I used to have her on a full healing focus build, but I think more often than not she heals enough even on a non HP focus build that I think it's kind of fun to leave her on a DPS oriented build. But instead of doing Emblem, I'm doing Deepwood because I have good DPS oriented Deepwood pieces, and I can keep her with enough energy that she should comfortably get her energy back, but she should have a decent enough crit rate and crit damage that she's occasionally just going to get 15, 20k, probably realistically more like in the 10 to 15k range for crits, just by nature of how the spread / aggravate reaction works. Spread ceiling is actually base scaling is a little bit higher than aggravate. So, her own base like stats, like her total attack, barely matters relative to the amount you just get. So like obviously I'll get less damage on this build than I got in the Emblem build. Hopefully that's obvious, but not to an insanely different degree that is worth it. Like I think it makes more sense to keep Candace on her Emblem build and keep Xiao on her Deepwood build, right? But anywho's, best weapon for DPS Chevers, realistically, it's Staff of Homo. I have played a bunch actually a little bit with Jade Spear on her as well, but the difference between Jade Spear and Hobo is not that significant. Especially if you have like she can actually pretty quickly at least in AoE situations. Proc Jade Sphere's passive to max stacks. On hit, increase attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds, max 7 stacks. This effect can occur once every 3 seconds. Her burst does, a bunch of bombs, right? It sends out a bunch of bombs, and then the delay is enough between those bomb hits that I find that you can usually proc the passive fairly consistently. But also, look how freaking good Staff of Homa looks on her. So, yeah, anyways. The Staff of Homa, I'd say, is still slightly better on average. I have been able to compare on this account with the C6 build. If I switch to a Jade Spear build, it's literally just a difference of switching to this crit damage circlet versus this crit rate circlet. So this is for Staff of Homa, and this is with Jade Spear. Or sorry, I think I have this one instead. Sorry, not this one. This one has more crit rate, but this one has more attack and EM, which is better for shivers. So between this one, and this circlet is actually better as far as total DPS stats that are concerned goes. And I'd say the Homa build is still slightly better than the Jade Spear, but like not to a degree that really matters. But as far as what it looks like, man, it matches so well. Like, anyways, so, but you can also just like do this weapon. Is it that bad? No, it's fine. So like, I don't know. If your goal is to maximize your damage from your shivers, she's relatively flexible, has a decent number of options. I think this would be a decent weapon for her too. Katane is probably not that bad because I assume if you're DPSing her, you hopefully have C4. A lot of her damage comes from her skill. Hey, this increases her skill damage and gives her EM, which means she can like get more overload damage out, and it's like not useless, right? So, and then energy refunding means you don't have to build as much ER on her. She needs a good chunk of ER. So even when you're, so I find about 40% to be comfortable on Polearms Only, for example, and that's what I'm doing with Xiangling and Hu Tao or Toma, so 3 Pyro party members, right? If I'm using Toma, I need less energy recharge, but anyways. So, yeah, there you go. 5-star cons are worth in the long run unless you prefer new characters and keep account at horizontal investment. I still wouldn't say worth. I would never say 5-star constellations are worthwhile. Case in point. Like, they do nothing, man. They do like nothing. Like, I'm on a Polearm Only account, and a few minutes ago I made a case for having Yai being objectively better than a Polearm 5-star constellation on a Polearm Only account. You cannot ever say that 5-star constellations are worth it. It depends. It depends on you, how you enjoy playing the game. I personally don't understand how people even like stick with this game long term if they don't enjoy playing with new characters constantly, which is my basis for like not ever recommending them in general. To be clear, with what you mentioned there, where in like if you don't like you mentioned like if you don't like playing with new characters, getting constellations is gonna be worth it. Sure, but then like, are you really playing this game long term if you don't like playing with new characters? Like, I don't know, to be clear, like, I'm not trying to like poo-poo you. It's just, that's what's kept me engaged, and with this game is like the formula of the new characters constantly releasing. It keeps me interested, and like there's new story that gets me interested in new characters that I potentially want just because I like them on a character. Like, I don't understand how you engage with this game long term without specifically being interested in long term in new characters. Like, I don't know, man. Like if you only like Xiao, is Xiao alone enough to motivate you to play this game for 3 years? So you just pull for Xiao constellations? Maybe. I'm not saying there's no people in that Xiaox. I'm not saying there's no people that exist like that. I mean, Xiaox makes content, so he also doesn't even count as one of these people. So like I don't know, right? Like I can't really easily put myself into the headspace of someone that plays Genshin long term. Which and the reason I say it as a requirement is because like you have to play long term to justify constellations at all at a baseline. Because once you play long term, you can get to the point of you have enough things where you can start to be more wasteful with your wishes, right? And justify just minor hyper investment things, right? which that's a bad example. But like Raiden is a better example of that, right? Like if you just really like Raiden, you can justify more in the long term to hyper invest more in Raiden through her constellations, and that's just like not, I don't know, right? Like it's a prerequisite to make it worthwhile to do constellations to play long term. And if you're playing this game long term, I feel like you're engaged with the formula of them releasing characters constantly. And if you're not, I don't know. If you somehow played this game for 2 years and just play the same character over and over, that's the perspective I can't get. It's a struggle for me. So, it's lagging for you. It's probably my internet. What is happening? Actually, my internet seems to be fine in game. What's happening?
The world remains constant over the centuries.
Audio wise,
Human life
or
is
just
like the
video?
dew of dawn, or a bubble rising through water.
Why?
Transitory.
Internet. What do you? Okay, let's see. Is Windows doing anything other than obviously my stream? No, it's just my stream. Well, actually, what the you, Microsoft? Why is Microsoft Edge open and using data in the background? I fucking hate. Sorry for not bleeping that, but Jesus, I hate Microsoft. I need to like go through the effort. It's gonna take like a day of doing it, but like I need to go through the effort of like debloating some Windows bullshit, man. Like, what the actual fuck? I don't use Edge, and Edge was using not much, but was using network in the background. Fuck you, Microsoft. I don't get why it's not streaming.
No purpose whatsoever.
Give me a second here. It might not be lagging right now, by the way, just because like there's a lot less necessary bitrate when there's no moving imagery. But as soon as I start moving, it might seem laggy again. So, anyways, let me message my brother quick to see if he's doing anything or if his stupid Xbox is doing anything, because an Xbox is made by Microsoft too, and they do all kinds of automatic network bullshit. Fuck you, Microsoft. Anyway, sorry. This is the Microsoft hate stream. I meant to be this to be a Xiao constellation hate stream. Anyways, is your Xbox doing anything, or are you like? I would hope my brother is like, my brother is smart enough. I live with my brother. I guess anyone was not knowing why I'm talking about my brother. I would hope my brother's smart enough by now. Like, I tell him when I stream, I think he knows not to like stream high quality HBO movies or something while I'm streaming, but usually any issues my internet has is resolved very quickly by itself. But right now it's just stuck in like low bit rate. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. This smells to me like my brother is doing something on the internet. What is happening? Well, apparently today was not the day for a stream. So maybe I will not be testing out Xiao things on this stream. Oh, it seems like it's recovering finally. Okay, I'll wait for confirmation from chat, but my OBS stats says it's fine now. So it should take a second, but I think it'll be fine. Apologies. Apologies. Alright. Well, okay, I think, oh. Well. I don't know, chat. BRB, I guess. Let me go. Yeah, I think it was smooth for a second, but then it's now going to the toilet again. Is your brother that stinky that you can smell him using the air? No, the United States situation. Like, I live in a development where there's like genuine reasons for these asshole internet providers to be like provide actual good quality internet to like. There's not an insignificant amount of people living where I live in relatively, bump my mic, in relatively close proximity to each other. like, it makes sense for fiber to be available to everyone living in these communities. But the way that internet providers work in the US is that in all these like community developments, usually internet providers like have these micro monopolies with each other to like only service like specific developments in new areas. So like when like a new like houses are being developed, usually like internet companies will like contract with these companies and like to only service this little subset of an area. And that means me, like the person living here, we don't have any option to get non-DSL, like non-DSL internet. Like, I can't get fiber. I have a business need to get fiber. I can't get it here. What the f***? Like, it's actually abhorrent. Like the internet speed itself is fine, but the issues you're seeing is like DSL inconsistency bullshit. DSL is technology that was like, for as far as like serving internet to people, is technology that was outdated like 15 fucking years ago. And that's the only thing available here for high-speed internet. I shit you not. So, anyways. Have you made a specific team for Xiao C2? No, well, Xiao C2 enables nothing. So there's nothing I do for Xiao C2, right? The only thing I will do is, like, elemental skill damage Xiao. Because, like, hey, if we have an extra skill, why not go and do his skill damage? I really, God, by the way, I really freaking hate, this constellation makes me hate even more that, well, there's no enemies around me, whoops, that when you're lamenting and you're doing his skill, he gets no energy particles. Why? Like, why did they do that? Like, for real. Why would you do that, Mihoyo? I'm sorry, this is one of those things that's like so brain dead and stupid in hindsight for them to do that they should have changed it. Like, this is a situation like, my God, would Xiao be a broken character if they changed him after the fact? No. No one would be mad at you, Mihoyo, if you made it so Xiao can get freaking energy particles when he's in his burst. Everyone would just be happy that you made Xiao slightly less of a character. Like Xiao's problem, by the way, on Polearms Only is the same as his problem on a normal account whenever you're like at a lower investment, which is like, he is... here, let me actually, here, I'll switch to... I'm going to switch to a 4-piece Marshall Say Hunters build. And actually, for proof, I actually uploaded this to Akasha the other day. Let me open up a new tab here. And open up Akasha so you can see that I have this MH build on Staff of Homa with Xiao is a top 3% Xiao build. Like, it's a very strong Xiao build. So I'm going to show you what this MH build does for Xiao on Polearms Only. And this is a top 3% build, right? This is a build that on a normal account, if I had access to like Farazan, C6, and Bennett, right, would get very good damage. But the thing I want to illustrate here is that he's... Oh my God, what's happening to my thing? It's having a stroke again. Okay. Is like it's... He's very reliant on his supportive teammates. And that is a problem on Polearms Only especially. It's also a problem on normal accounts for like lower investment, right? So let's see, Hyper Xiao average damage. Oh frick, oops, it has my old, oops. Whoops, here, give me a second. There we go. Okay, well, actually I don't even need to have any cropping there. Just delete the cropping. Actually, I'll leave like 100 pixels of cropping. There we go. Okay. So put that there. Closing. Okay, so zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I have this Xiao. This is the Xiao build I'll put on. The timepiece is a little bit cope. Like, he could probably get in the top 2%, top 1% range. I could have a top 1% Xiao potentially if I had like a better circlet and a better, like, this circlet isn't bad, to be clear. Like, don't undervalue, like, it's not amazing. It only has 4 lines of stat value, and it's a pretty cope circlet, we'll be honest. But but we get so many crit stats in general from other pieces that he doesn't really need it in this build, because he's at 61% crit rate anyways, right? So like the only difference of like an additional crit roll, like it would have been better for this one to like have more attack percent rolls than crit rolls, right? But the timepiece is actually the biggest thing. If I had like a 30 crit damage timepiece, he would probably go up to like top 2 or 1% is my guess. Although, well, he's still competing with the Vermilion builds, which are slightly better, usually at high investment. So, point is this is a good Xiao. Like top 3% is high. Like that's a lot of damage. This is a high investment Xiao build, but it's not going to do that much damage on this account. So, yeah. This is an illustration of Xiao needing more than.
I hear you've got a job for me.
More than just.
Walk would be nice.
And the interesting question here, like with this team, this is probably the best Xiao team I can make on this account that enables Xiao to be like, you know, he can swirl. Like this would be normally to be on 4-piece VV though, but we'll put him on 4-piece image for maximizing his damage. And then, like, hey, you can have Xiangling and Rosaria doing some amount of melt shenanigans. You can get some off-field damage to make up for the lower, you know, the lack of on-field damage from Xiao, right? That is not because you just can't get as high of on-field damage from Xiao when you don't have the likes of Bennett and Xiangling available, or Bennett and Farazan available, for example, or Cloud Retainer or Farina, right? We don't have any of them, so you know. There's just like no good avenues to increasing NODMS damage and like on a Polearm account, and this is a problem that exists on normal accounts too. But as time has gone on, particularly recently, being that Xiao now has Farina and Cloud Retainer as very competent options, like Xiao has a lot of options now, in my opinion, that make him more usable, but it's still problematic because it's still like there are like kind of all like 5-star options. Like C6 Farazan is a worse, harder to get than a 5-star option. Farina is a 5-star option. Cloud Retainer is a 5-star. So he still has like in problems of like not being great without higher investment. But my point is like his investment requires more in the characters around him than it does the artifacts and equipment that he's using, right? That's kind of all I'm saying here. I could steal Hu Tao's Feather, but I think for the top 3% build, I technically did use Hu Tao's Feather, but these are basically the same crit value. This is just ever so slightly better. It doesn't matter. It was this piece. We're using Staff of Homo, so the HP doesn't do nothing technically. And we're keeping on that animal damage goblet, and then give him that piece. There you go. Let's put some at, he should be at perfectly 100% crit rate. The ER might be a little bit, it's fine. I think I have, do I have? Yeah, I do have this circlet technically, if you need ER. So like I do have a better MH build with more ER. But we'll just keep her on this, keep him on the slightly higher damage build for now. And yeah, so this is probably the best team that I can make, but the problem with this team is Rosaria's solo cryo, and I don't have C4 to even help with this. Rosaria solo cryo needs more ER than I have on her in this build, right? Like I realistically have to put her on an ER timepiece, or maybe I can get away with putting Fab on her instead of a DPS weapon, right? Which is to say I'm lowering Rosaria's potential damage output by using Xiao as an on-field DPS. And notably, Rosaria is also made to be able to, she has a 6-second skill cooldown, so she's usually made to get at least 2 skills per rotation, and a lot of times you can get 3 skills per rotation. Well, if you're doing an on-fielder that wants to spend a whole bunch of time jumpy plunging, you do not have the ability to just freely swap through your Rosaria and do another skill to get her energy back. So if you compare like Rosaria's potential output with Xiao on the team versus Shenhe, right? So like again, we're operating in the context of Polearms Only. This is the best team that I think I can have for Xiao, and I don't want to do that. Here, let's... Oh my god, internet! Okay, I'm gonna end the stream soon, because... Internet, man, I'm sorry. Like, this is a terrible experience to watch, I imagine, so... Anyways, let's go find somewhere to refill energy. I don't even... Why is there not an easy way to refill energy in this game? Let's go over to the turtles, I guess. So... Right, on Polearms Only, I'm restricted to Polearm Only characters, and the best team that I can find to use for Xiao, that gives relevance to him DPSing, and relevance to him being Animo if I put him on VV, where he can buff Xiangling and Rosaria's damage even, it still feels a lot better to play this team with Shenhe instead of Xiao. A lot better. So, yeah, I don't know. And I haven't had a better idea other than doing, like, just meme things, like doing charge attack Hydro Xiao, right? AKA ignoring all of his kit other than his charge attack multipliers. So, anyways, really? I didn't hit one of those skills because he went straight through. Boy. Oh, boy. And now we're going to take 10 years to get our energy back. Do 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 gadget experience. Am I laggy or is it me? It's me because my internet. We've already clarified this. I'm ending the stream soon because of my internet. It's just, yeah, it's just not worth. I'm not gonna. I wanted to test a whole bunch of things this stream, but if my internet ain't gonna work for shit, like what the f is the point, right? Like, sorry. So, yeah. If my brother is fucking watching something on HBO, I'm gonna yell at him. He's not an idiot. He knows, and he usually asks on the weekends if I'm gonna stream. But I am gonna yell at him for being an idiot if he is. So, you know, blame my brother. I'll blame my brother in Discord if that's the case. But it's probably not. It's probably just the internet provider being shit here, because that's just the state of U.S. internet providers. Is they don't actually offer good service to customers. They're not actually interested in doing that. They're just interested in being pieces of shit. Sorry. I'm overly emotional and pissed off. It's one of those things that really, really pisses me off because, like, people need the internet to do work in the modern day. And the U.S. is such that internet providers are just like, we don't care. So, even when they could potentially stand to make more profits by offering better service. Actually insane to me. Yay for systems that benefit micro monopolies on an infrastructure level. So, anywho, let's go. You know what? We'll even be nice to Xiao and go to this domain actually, these enemies are decently tanky, and he'll get some additional crit damage even. So this is going to be more damage than I can get realistically from the Abyss, for example. Really enjoy your videos. Think you're really good at building characters. Got a lot of ideas for strange teams and builds like Plunge Riding. Thanks. Appreciate it. That's kind of why I make these videos, because like I think Genshin's a super fun game because of all the creative, silly things you can do. Okay. And, oh my god, let me switch back to it. So, Rosaria does not have the right build, by the way. Ignore Rosaria's actual damage numbers here. We're just seeing Xiao's damage numbers. Like, wow, 40k. Whoa. Like, it's good Xiao damage for what he's doing, and like, he's gonna get up to like 50k here. In my testing before, he cannot get up to like 50k. And now you see, Xiangling didn't get her burst back, man. This is Xiangling configured on a build specifically because I use her solo pyro a lot in like that melt team variation. But again, like this team generates less energy particles in general. So even Xiangling on Engulfing Lightning, which gives 30% ER when she's solo pyro, and she has 250 ER to baseline. That's 280 ER for like whatever 12 seconds, which is when most of her energy is generated. In this team, that's not enough energy. It is plenty enough energy when I'm using Shenhe. It's not enough when using Xiao. To be clear, sometimes you're against enemies that would generate particles, and then it would be enough energy. Like, it's just barely on the edge there, as you can see, but, like, man. And then Xiao didn't get his burst back either. Well, I don't know. Xiao might be fine, actually, because, you know, if you trigger Fav... Well, no, he still didn't get it. Okay, so, like, yeah, realistically, Xiao still needs... Xiao would need to switch to the other circlet, too. So, you know what? And, like, again, Rosaria needs more energy, obviously, in this team, too, which means lowering damage. Like, oh. So, like... Right, like, technically this is the best build I can do on Xiao in this account. There you should have plenty enough ER where you shouldn't have the ER problems I was having there. But then I have to, like, reconfigure Rosaria a bit, and, like, on a Polearm Only account, this is the best team I can think of for Xiao. And it has very notable issues, and it feels a lot worse to play than if I play Shenhe in this team instead of Xiao. And the team's performance is realistically more thanks to Xiangling and Rosaria than anything. Well, actually, Rosaria isn't because of her energies, but actually Encircle and Penalty issues isn't always going to be contributing that much. Like, it's not like Xiao is contributing nothing here. But, again, I can tell you that having played the Melt variation of this team a lot, it's a lot better. The Melt variation with Shenhe instead of Xiao. So, I don't know. Like as with the additional, like, 40-50% crit damage we were getting in there, we didn't even reach 50k. And remember, on a normal account, like, this high of an investment of a Xiao build, if you were using some mix of Bennett, Farazan, Farina, Cloud Retainer, some mix of those characters, right? Not all of them, but some mix of them. He has a decent amount of options now. He would be able to get in, like, the 100k range, right? And that's a big difference maker to how he feels to play and how useful he feels. It's just a problem with Anemo DPS in general, to be clear. But on Polearms Only, right, we have none of the things that can make Anemo DPS competent. So I'm kind of left to just doing haha funny meme things like I had on Xiao before, wherein I had him on just a skill damage build, which is not good. I want to be clear. I don't think doing 4-piece Golden Troop is actually smart. That's just stupid. Like it is just dumb to do this. But at the same time, it's not that different for like how I can get utility out of him. Realistically, he's still relegated to VV duty, and using him on 4-piece Golden Troop as far as what he actually offers is not that different from using him on 4-piece Marseille Hunters. So, because either way, if I'm not using him on VV, I'm losing the value of VV. And this team's DPS will very likely go up substantially if I just put Xiao on, like if I had as good of Marseille Hunters artifacts on VV, like the same substack quality of these MH pieces, right? But on VV, 4-piece VV instead, Xiao, instead of, like, you know, just relatable pieces. This isn't bad, but it's definitely relatable. And I don't have the ability to do a circlet, so I have to use an onset goblet, which is much worse than my offset goblets. And point is, wham blam, you know, I have a pretty cope Xiao. Like, I guess I'll put him back on his VV build quick to compare, right? Although, well, you're not actually going to be able to see the Rosaria and Xiangling damage because their burst is not back. I guess I can go refill them quick. But, like, like, this is not that great. So you can easily imagine, though. Point is that I could have a much better, much better build going than I do. You're using Jade Spear, and I'll just try to give you the best circlet I have or something. Best circlet I'm not using. Actually, this might be the best one. I'll give him this because it has a whole bunch of crit rate. Alright. About 2k attack, 75, 161, 138 ER on 4-piece VV. So the idea here is he's swirling Pyro and Cryo around. Hopefully both. It's going to be hard to consistently get both, potentially. But either way, if he's swirling one of them, he's increasing these two's units DPS more than he could increase his own DPS by nature of Marsh's 800s, right? That's the idea. Still has the same problems with energy needs on Rosaria, for example, but again, Rosaria, I need to go level up this weapon on Rosaria right now, but it's fine. The point is to see the difference in the Xiao damage here and acknowledge the fact that, right, we're gonna lose. I think we're gonna be in the 20 to 30k range of Xiao damage here. Is Xiao's burst eval actually? Nope. We're gonna be in the 20 to 30k range for Xiao damage, and that so that compared to like the 40k we were getting, right? So we're losing 25% Xiao damage, but being that so much of the team damage is coming from these two units and their interaction together, we can increase the team's damage more than is lost from Xiao, right? Especially if we conceptualize if I had better quality VV artifacts, right? It's not just you. It's my internet. Tried lowering the bitrate. The bitrate is not the problem. The bitrate I have this like the bitrate I have the stream running at is like it dynamically changes. My streaming software will try to stream at what the bitrate I set is, but I can tell you right now, based on what I'm seeing, it's just my internet having an absolute stroke and dropping down to like 1,000 kilobits per second constantly. Like, I can set it to 1,000 kilobits per second to be clear, and it might look smoother, I guess. Here, let's just simulate that. But it will look potato. Just here, I'll just simulate that. I'm not going to use burst here. Here, okay, I'll be slightly more sane and set it to 2,000. But like, it's not going to make for a better experience. The limitation is not the setting I have in my streaming software. It's what my fucking shit-ass internet wants to provide right now. And chances are this is just shitty DSL internet because 4 other people in the community nearby me happen to be using the internet at the same time. It means the internet quality is f***ed for me. And I can't even pay them more because of for better quality internet if I wanted to, because they're ass wipes. So, anyways, like now the stream connection might be more stable, to be clear. Like now OBS is giving me a green indicator, but the bitrate is 2,000 kilobits per second, and it was actually dropping below 2,000, by the way, a lot. So it might not. It's still probably not going to be stable. Okay. Right. So I was getting 30k there. I saw. I think at 30. I got a 40k. Right. I didn't even think I'd get up to 40k. So I didn't expect to get the high. So like I think I got up to 50k before. That was more damage than I was expecting from Xiao on VV. It does look nicer. Okay, I'll leave it as that and not then. Okay, maybe it was an OBS problem then. I guess I was assuming it was an internet problem based on how it was dropping down. If it is an OBS problem, then I don't get why it was doing that. It wasn't supposed to. I don't know. I might have to update OBS and I'll investigate it a little bit. I haven't had any problems with that in OBS lately, so like I was just assuming it was an internet problem, I guess. That's my bad. Anyways, whatever. If it's Xiao's almost dead, that's just how Xiao is. We're not running a healer. He drains his own health. Actually, that is actually another thing about it. That is a problem with MH Xiao. Through a whole sustained abyss potentially, because his HP is going to drain. And eventually he might get down to 1 HP and stop draining HP. I think. But I don't know if that actually is an issue or not, because it's percentage based, right? So he'll just get like forever really close. But as long as he is still draining at least 1 HP, he can still trigger 4-piece MH. But anyways, it's fine. So like he got up to like 40k there, I think 42k. And I think the highest we saw with the MH build, which was a much worse, like way less crit damage than this, right? less crit damage, less just general valuable stats in artifacts, and he got he only got like 20% less in the worst case scenario, basically. But VV is increasing the team's damage more than 20%. So, of course, that does like rely on like you really want to have enemies grouped properly, so you don't have to deal with if they go outside of Rosaria's circle, right? Then obviously Rosaria's damage goes to 0. So it is potentially more circle impact reliant. It's not like it's 100% always a DPS upgrade. There might be situations where it's hard to utilize Rosaria in this team, right? But my point is even in this team, it still makes sense to have Xiao on a DPS build. And if I'm going to try to like maximize DPS Xiao on this account, it just makes more sense to try to get better VV artifacts than anything else. So I genuinely, just for funsies, to show Xiao some love, I might start farming VV. Because I have no reason to really farm anything else in the game right now. I have like kind of all the artifacts I really need. And not that I couldn't get like some slightly better emblem artifacts. Like sure, would it be cool to have a 40 CV emblem flower that has 2 ER lines instead of a 30 CV like this one? Well, sure, but like, is it actually going to make Xiangling that much better to have one more crit rate or crit damage roll? No. It's not really going to change that much. This is already a top 1% Xiangling, by the way. So, like, I don't need to. I don't need more fucking emblem pieces, is my point. And I'm now done farming MH. This Hu Tao build, by the way, is a top 1%. Okay. Akasha doesn't have a leaderboard for Monopyro Hu Tao because Akasha is filled with KQM slaves that don't understand that you can use and get a lot of value out of characters when you don't play them in their best teams. And like I honestly think people undervalue Hu Tao for her ease of use, just as like a self pyro damage dealer. I think one of the more valuable reasons to go for like C1 Hu Tao and her weapon is to make her feel better when she is not being used as a reaction unit. In my opinion, but anyways, because her self-damage contribution feels very significant when you invest a bit more in her. Point is, so with MH, I can use MH on Hu Tao on this account in conjunction with Chevreuse, and I have a, this is a, if it was on a normal account where I was like using Farina, for example, but Chevreuse enables MH for Hu Tao the same way that Farina does. The difference is that Hu Tao does a normal bait build, right? So all I have to do is like switch to this timepiece on Hu Tao, because I have an off-piece timepiece, and I have an equivalent quality HP timepiece, which is what you do if you're doing monopyro like I am, better quality in some ways, and this is a top 1% Hu Tao build. Like, point is, I don't have a reason to invest much more in characters, other than Xiao even, so I may as well farm VV. Like I know some people would be like, farm Vermilion, but like, why? I don't know. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments or whatever if you think there's genuinely a reason to farm Vermilion, but it would take me probably 6 months, I'm guessing, to get a Vermilion's. Well, actually, no. Vermilion's in the strong box, so it would probably take me at least 3 months to get close to equivalent quality Vermilion artifacts as I currently have available for Xiao in Marseille Hunters. So to get to the point where Vermilion starts to be better than Marseille Hunters, right? And Vermilion can definitely be better than MH for Xiao on this account because we don't have Bennett. The attack percent is more valuable on an account when you're not on a Xiao when you're not using Bennett. So anyways, Marseille, not Crimson. Yeah, no, Crimson is literally pointless on Hu Tao. Okay, I shouldn't say literally pointless. 4-piece Crimson is quite literally almost pointless on Hu Tao because you're only getting, using an elemental skill increases the 2-piece bonus by 50% of its starting value for 10 seconds. That means all that 4-piece Crimson does for Hu Tao and Polearms Only is it gives me 22.5% pyro damage bonus. Why would I do that? It literally makes more sense to do 2-piece bonuses. than it does to do 4-piece Crimson on Polearms Only. She can't vaporize consistently ever. I have tried some shenanigans doing Shenhe and Rosaria together with her. But even then, like, she can't melt. She's not gonna melt consistently. These two characters don't apply so much cryo that you can melt consistently. So if I want to see the biggest number possible, though, I would. But no. MH is because it gives a whole bunch of free crit rate, and that enables me to have builds like this, which are near 100% crit rate, 280 crit damage, with a healthy amount of ER. Lets me burst every single rotation. It's a meaningful improvement to her, and Chevreuse is the one that enables it. So, anyways, Chevreuse, I should say Chevreuse was C6 specifically. It's Chevreuse's healing is what, and Chevreuse's small little chip healing is what enables it to work at all. So you don't technically need Chevreuse C6 for that. But the thing is with Hu Tao, of course, if you're healing her, to make it worthwhile to keep Hu Tao over, she's not always over 50% HP because she can take damage, obviously, but to make it worthwhile to keep her over 50% health, you want to have some amount of damage bonus. So on a normal account, like if you're using Farina with her, you want to heal her with Farina. Well, Farina is giving the damage bonus that is more than the damage bonus lost from not being able to be under 50% HP with her. And in Polearms Only, it's the same thing, wherein getting the 60% pyro damage bonus for Hu Tao is from Chevreuse C6. Like that's the thing that makes it make sense to do. It's objectively better to do that in my case. So yeah, I still have a very, very good 4-piece Shimenawa's build option available on Hu Tao as well, if I do not want to play Hu Tao with Chevreuse, and that's what I used for a long time, but this is better. So I probably will make a video about this Hu Tao build soon, TM, and it's probably going to be something along the lines of I finally perfected Hu Tao on Polearms Only, and that's my current outline for it at least. And I plan to triple crown her and do a bunch of testing and showcasing with Chevreuse, and probably just talking about in general how useful Hu Tao can be without being a vaporized unit, right? I did not, when I first got Hu Tao in Polearms Only, I was very skeptical because, like, man, everyone talks about Hu Tao. Everyone talks about Hu Tao as if this character can only be used to vape, right? And I have used her entirely not to vape, just saying, and she's still been very useful. So, you know, I think that's a valuable thing to mention. Anyways, Noblesse is the go-to for Benny. I wouldn't say it's usually his best in slot. If you have C6 Bennett, I'd say more often than not, Instructors is C6 Bennett's best in slot. But if you have a pre-C6 Bennett, or just in general you want the easiest option for Bennett, just Noblesse is better. As a no-brainer, use it, and it do be good option on him. But yeah, so anyways. See what I missed from the chat. So let me adjust my bitrate again. Let's see if we can push it a little bit farther. My internet, by the way, like my original setting for my bitrate was only 6.5 kilobits per second. 6500, not 6.5k. My internet is normal, should be more than capable. Like the upload speed, if it's working well, like the rated upload speed is supposed to be like 20 megabits per second, and I was having issues there with 6.5, like that's 6.5 megabits per second, right? That's what kilobits per second is to megabytes. So the fact that I had to drop it to 2 is really dumb. But I'm gonna increase it to like 3,000 here. No, you know what? I'm going to push it a little bit farther. Let's go to 4,000. Like, I already, like, I don't know. I'm a bit of a like video quality nut. I already think YouTube streams when I'm streaming at 6,500 kilobits per second. Oh, no, nope, it immediately is dropping. I think YouTube streams. Yeah, nope. Yeah, internet just being real crap today, I think. And OBS cannot handle it, is not happy with it. I'll go down to 3,000. I think anyways, YouTube streams at 6,500 kilobits per second look really garbage. And having the bit rate to 3,000 or 2,000, I don't even want to know what it's going to look like, but anywho's. Your current overload team versus Hydro Tulpa. This team is very strong against Tulpa. Where the frick is the Tulpa? I don't even remember. Where is it? Do I not have it on the map? I might have it. Oh, there it is. It's over here. Okay. So we gotta go swimming. I guess that's fine. Yeah, if you want actual footage of the Tulpa in Abyss, though, this team absolutely destroyed the Tulpa in Abyss. I think I mostly used it without Hu Tao, to be clear, at that point when Tulpa was in Abyss. It's taken a while to farm 4-piece MH for Hu Tao. But I imagine if I had been able to vape with Hu Tao, or sorry, vape with this build on Hu Tao and the overload synergy going on, this build would have been scarily disgusting. But I did not have this build on Hu Tao available at that time. In the Abyss, most of the time I've been using this team variation, by the way, with Toma instead of having a stroke, sorry. Instead of with Xiangling. And the reason for that is quite simply because Xiangling is a very valuable character to use, for example, for Shenhe Melt. One of the best things about Chevreuse has been how she has enabled a number of competent new team options to pop up that oftentimes involve Xiangling, but she has also given me options to enable me more often to use the Shenhe Melt team, Zhongli, Shenhe, Rosaria, Xiangling, together, and still be able to have a competent team in this side, right? So I've been very much enjoying riding on a hybrid build, bursting usually every other rotation, and then using Toma for, just a little more pyro, a little bit of off-field pyro to enable some more overloads consistently from off-field, and then Hu Tao on-field for a little bit, and then Chevreuse with her like front-loaded DPS as well. And I like the thing with Hu Tao, by the way, and Chevreuse is I want Chevreuse on a DPS build with Hu Tao so that she heals less. So I'm losing. Oh my god, where's the? So I'm losing a little bit of healing for her, but that's on purpose to make sure, because if Chevreuse was healing, 4,000 damage per healing stack there, you see how Hu Tao did not go to full health. Well, we already lost the stacks because it's been too long, but Hu Tao didn't go to full health there, and that's to make sure that we're consistently refreshing the stacks on 4-piece MH, right? Where do you go for this? I just wanted to go fight the Tulpa to see big vapes on Hu Tao. Also, my internet, it's lagging again. Okay. Apparently 2,000. This internet is supposed to be able to do like 20 megabits per second upload, and it can handle 2 right now. Jesus Christ. Or it's specifically an OBS problem. I don't know. I'll have to reboot my computer, but like rebooting my computer would end the stream, right? So this is one of the more scuffed streams I've had lately. Oh, there it is. Okay. So anyways, my whole thing with artifacts there was I don't need more artifacts on this account. I have invested so much in so many of these characters that I have all very, very, very good builds for them, with the exception of Xiao. and that's just because it's never been actually worth it to farm for Xiao. But at this point, I don't need to farm for anyone else until Arlecchino comes out, at least, I guess. And I'm probably gonna pre-farm for Arlecchino, so I don't know. I might just waste dump resin after I'm done like doing some talent leveling on some characters, like crowning Guoba. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see though. Let's just do this. 70k vapes. Oh, wait, I didn't. Oh, wait. I'm dumb. I didn't put it on the EM timepiece. I was gonna say I feel like it should be higher. It's because I didn't put it on the EM timepiece. All right. Also to try to max this out a little bit. Let's be a little smart. Let's do Toma, because that's what I do in the Abyss anyways. Let's simulate the damage similar damage we could have gotten.
Let's get out there and mix.
To I guess I can go fight. I didn't. Now that I think about it, I didn't have to fight the Tulpa. I could just fight the Hydro thingies over here, as long as they don't, as long as they don't one-shot me, which they might. So anyways, let's reduce Hu Tao's HP a little bit here, because I want her to be under 50% HP. I want to see how big we can get on a charge attack vape. We could get more from a melt, to be clear. This isn't going for maximum damage Hu Tao or anything, but just simulating what we actually would have gotten in practice against the Tulpa if I had this build back then. Alright, so we should be able to, yeah, we should be able to see some big numbers. We'll have the damage bonus going. Do I think Arlecchino will use Fontaine mats? I mean, she used Fontaine materials probably, but she's probably going to have her own special artifact set. They're releasing a new Pyro Polearm character, and like when it comes to like Pyro DPSs, if assuming she's an on-field, it's just going to be whatever gimmick she has, and they've done a weird gimmick for both the previous Harbingers that they've released in the game, and they've released artifact sets specifically for those Harbingers too, consistent like patterns being patterns, and the fact that there's a new artifact set that should be coming out in 4.6 means Arlecchino should be having her own artifact set. It's possible that artifact set might not be relevant on Polearms Only though, so we'll see. Okay, I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, wait, can we... Oh, frick you. Oh my god, okay. Did we actually trigger overload? We did, okay, we're fine. I didn't put the timepiece on. Frick, I knew I forgot to do something. The 75k was still good, obviously, but... Okay, oh, we're healing up on her by accident. And then Toma almost got just murdered, so, you know, god damn it, man. Okay, wait. Remember to switch the timepiece, you twit. Okay, switch to an EM timepiece. We're trying to see big vapes. Simulate what we would have gotten on a top 1% Hu Tao build with this weird situation. Okay. I kind of want to heal Toma, but you know what? Well, I guess we can't heal Toma for doing this. I just don't want Toma to be... I didn't bleep that out. Sorry, here's a for you as an apology. Okay, good enough. Gonna go a little bit north. Nope, wrong button. If you're asking what AR I am, Victor, I don't know if you're asking someone in chat or me. We are AR 59, but we are very close to 60 on Polearms Only. So, okay, let's... Yeah, we'll be fine. No, don't.
Stop right there. You asked for it.
85k, nice. And now, of course, she's healed up, so, you know, more realistic here. I'm not getting... Okay. I didn't have Chevrus's burst to start, so... Oh my god. A 93k. Now riding. Blam. Alright. That thing has more HP than the Tulpa, by the way. Than the Tulpa did, I'm pretty sure. The Tulpa would have died faster. So, yeah. There's a top 1% Hu Tao for you. So that's probably pretty similar to what, you know, a vape, like if we were doing on a normal account, right? If I was using this Hu Tao build, with Farina and Yelan, and then, I don't know, Jean would just be there for a healer, for example. And I think that's what the Akasha leaderboard uses, if I recall. I could be wrong, though. No, it probably uses Bennett, now that I think about it. But, either way, right? It should be pretty similar as far, but then, you know, you would have Hydro and you would get Vapes in normal situations. But you'd have more damage bonus going on, but like in that instance I had the resistance shred going on from Chevrus, right? So that's probably the closest I could have on Polearms Only to simulating what a vape Hu Tao would look like with Farina. Yeah, near 100k charge attack, which is pretty good. So anyways, yeah, Tulpa was not even close to a challenge in this account because Mihoyo likes to release 500 different Pyro Polearm characters, and that seems to be the trend in this is moving forward. I expect the next year going into the Pyro Nation is going to be 18 Pyro Polearm characters because that's all they like to think about. But anyways, I'm joking, but like I think it would have made sense, just not even just for Polearms Only, but just in a normal account. I think Chevrus, the main thing that could have made Chevrus any better, if I was going to change anything about her kit, would be making her Electra rather than Pyro. I think she would have been a more useful unit as an Electra unit. Not that there's not teams where it's more relevant to have her be a Pyro. I think the reason they made her Pyro is primarily just so that she's a better energy battery for Pyro units. Notably, I think their intention, a large part of the intention with Chevrus' design, was to make her be able to replace Bennett on like a conceptual basis. That's like why I think she has any healing at all, is so that she can be your defensive healing unit on top of your buffing unit, and she can replace Bennett, and she has like good amount of particle generation, like not insane particle generation, not as good as Bennett if you're able to swap into him constantly, but can still provide energy particles that would be much better for Xiangling, for example, especially than if she was Electro, right? But I think having her be Electro would have been a little bit better. But it's not. It wouldn't have crazily changed the character at all. This character is functionally both. So, you literally started artifact farming like 2 days ago to see what it's like. Oh, really? If you started artifact farming 2 days ago, you should stick for a long time. You should stick to resin efficient domains. It depends what characters you have. If you have Farina, I would absolutely start with farming this domain. This artifact is obviously very good for Farina herself. It's also extraordinarily good for Fischl. And then it could be useful on a lot of characters as a 2-piece set bonus. On top of potentially being still relevant for many characters in the future as a 4-piece bonus. And this set is, when you pair an on-field DPS unit with Farina, this set is those units' best set. Like, almost always. There is minor exceptions, but almost always. The value of this crit rate that it gives is so high that this is any DPS pair with Farina's best set. Even if the 2-piece bonus isn't relevant to them. So, yeah. Assuming you have a healer, you know, to make use of the rest of Farina's kit, to be clear. So if you have Farina, I genuinely think that's the most valuable domain in the game right now. But if you don't have Farina, it's still potentially very valuable, depending on what other characters you have. Like, if you have Nuvilet, obviously, like, this set is so good on Nuvilet, and he enables himself to use the set, he doesn't need Farina, right? That, you know, that's part of the reason I think a lot of people think Nuvilet is so strong, is because it's very easy to make, just the correct main stats on this set for Nuvilet, and Nuvilet's a pretty decent character. He's like strong enough. He's strong enough for the vast majority of players, just with the correct main stats of like have a flower, have a feather, have an HP timepiece, have a hydro or HP goblet, have a crit rate or crit damage circlet, depending on what weapon you're using, and blam, you got a nuva that's functional for the vast majority of how most people play this game. So the Deepwood domain is also very good, but this one is more of like there is an ending point. The reason being is just because like a lot of Dendro teams are very accessible, relatively low investment teams. That can be very, very good, and getting some amount of these artifacts is something you will want to do eventually, and this is also something that's not available in the Strongbox. So in my opinion, as a new player, the main domains you should actually farm is Gilded Dreams Deepwood for Dendro related teams. Gilded Dreams is just a good generic set in general, and then Deepwood is necessary for any team that's doing a lot of Dendro damage, which is most Dendro reaction teams. And then this set is the other, or this domain is the main other one. Emblem is still worth farming, but Emblem is in the Strongbox now, right? So this set is also worthwhile on a whole lot of characters because bursting is important. But that's in Strongbox. Same thing with like VV is very relevant to have available on Sucrose or Kazuha. And heck, even Maidens is more relevant now with Farina's existence. I just today actually finished leveling up my Maidens pieces for Bennett. Yeah, so anyway, but like there's not often where you actually want to spend a lot of time in this domain. It's just something you might temporarily go into as you're trying to get, you know, Sucrose or Kazuha to be functional, or maybe Jean or Cloud Retainer. So it depends, but I'd say the default I'd recommend farming, if you just recently started farming artifacts, is just going to be this domain, especially if you have Farina, or this domain is what you would want to stick to for a while. And then as you get some decent enough pieces to make characters functional with those artifact sets, you can diversify a little bit more into like Emblem and whatnot. And Strongbox for, you either want a Strongbox for VV, Strongbox for Emblem, Strongbox for some like Noblesse supportive sets eventually as well. But most of the time, most of the units you're putting Noblesse on, oftentimes just like Bennett, for example, just get 4-piece Noblesse on him, put him on a literally whatever goblet, and then an ER timepiece. And then if you get Sapwood Blade, the craftable sword, you're good. Is strongboxing artifacts that have an inefficient domains such as Noblesse a better option? Yes, I believe, personally. I personally believe it makes a lot more sense, even like long-term hyper-investment wise, to continue farming more resin-efficient domains and then throwing the pieces that don't meet whatever your bar of quality is for the state of your account investment. Throwing those pieces that don't meet that quality line into the Strongbox for Noblesse, right? Like, I actually am farming for Noblesse pieces in Strongbox on my main account right now because I, one, plan to get Shannon in the future, and two, I actually wanted Noblesse as an option for a Cloud Retainer build because it's kind of just annoying to think about swirling with her consistently in a lot of her teams, such that I just want like a turn brain off build, use characters burst, get benefit from it variation, and Noblesse do be good for that. Let's do this for funsies. And yeah, so I've been farming Noblesse, but through Strongbox, not through through Strongbox, not through anything else. And just because like the domain is paired with this Bloodstained, I think, if I recall right. I think it's here, right? Yeah, it's Bloodstained Chivalry, which is it's a niche fun artifact set because it's got a unique 4-piece bonus that lets you like spin to win infinitely, theoretically. But it's a meme. It's a meme option. There's no really good reason to farm this artifact set. Yeah. So like, it's not that there's never reasons to farm it directly. But notably, one of the things that I actually recently learned, I don't even know where she got this data, but Sevi in her artifact video, very, very, very good video, by the way. Go watch Sevi's video for artifact farming. She posted it a week or two ago, I think. Strongbox gives a higher chance of 4-line artifacts, And especially as time goes on, it just is like when I get pieces like, let's see if I can find one. Let's see if I have like a double crit piece or whatever. No, I just don't. Okay. A 3-line double crit piece compared to, yeah, well, that's a deepwood piece, but a 3-line double crit piece compared to even something like a 4-line piece like this one, for example. If we compare the value of, say, most average players that don't think much, I think, about how the game is actually mathing how your characters deal damage, probably don't think much about the fact that this artifact is very, like, I shouldn't say likely, but there's a very good chance this artifact is more likely to be more useful than a artifact that is just double crit with a 3-line start, right? And even if this like piece rolls, say, attack percent, right, and has crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, the fact that it has one less possible roll by not being a 4-line artifact makes its inherent, like being 4-line not only increases the potential ceiling for how good an artifact could be, right? Like you have an increased ceiling for the quality of your artifact by being a 4-line, but what's actually more important is that it also increases the floor for how good an artifact can be, because having one more roll means a much higher chance that you're just going to get a decent quality artifact that's more usable out of it. Whether or not it has, 0 dead stats. Obviously, like, this artifact has 0 dead stats, and you could, technically any stat is good on this artifact. You just would like prefer certain stats over some other stats. Like this is better than a double crit. Like say if this rolls crit damage or this rolls crit rate, chances are this piece will still be better than either of these pieces, even if these pieces like rolled in a crit the 4th line and rolled like 30 CV, right? If these pieces rolled 30 CV, but then it rolled once into defense, so it's like a 10 crit rate, 10 crit damage or something, a piece, and like, hey, cool, we'll say like 12 crit damage, that would be more like realistic. 10 crit rate, 12 crit damage or something, and then 40 flat def, versus this piece, if it rolled 12.5 crit rate and attack percent and ER, this piece is better for a lot of characters and a lot of builds a lot of the time, even though it's like lower crit value. And right, and it has less chances to be bad because of the fact that it has more chances to roll into relevant stats by being a 4-line. And my point with this is that Strongbox has a higher chance of 4-line artifacts. It's not insanely high. I think it's like 33% if I recall. So dump something into here, and it's 33% chance for a 4-line start versus I think it's like 20, it's a little bit under 25% chance when you're farming artifacts normally, which is not a lot different realistically, but it's close enough. I wanted to throw something away here, but apparently the game has decided I don't get to. I just want to find something cope that's not worth keeping. Whatever. I was trying to give an example, but whatever. So anyways. Oh, why don't you roll it right now? Yeah, because like, I don't have a use for it. What does it do for me, right? Like, look at all the gladiator pieces I'm using on this account. I don't think I actually am using a single one. And not that 2-piece bonuses can't be useful in Gladiator. Gladiator is not a bad set. But yeah, not using that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using Gladiator as an off-piece on Yunjin. Like this is one of the best artifacts I have on the account, realistically. This ER timepiece, but I'm using an onset piece on Chungling, so yup. And again, using an off piece on Zhongli. So I don't know. I was using it on Xiao for a while. It was like 2-piece bonuses, I think, early on the account. But there's no polearm character where it's really that relevant for. And again, like most of the characters I have builds for, I think the only one that has relevant 2-piece builds, that like 2-piece is just as good or near as good as 4-piece builds for reasons I don't feel like getting into on Polearms Only, is Chevreuse. And because of the fact that I've spent so much resin in Emblem, I have much better 2-piece attack percent combos on Chiminawas than I do on Gladiator, right? Because I can only get Gladiator from boss drops, but there's only a finite reason to farm boss drops, right? And I don't really need Wanderer's True pieces that much. So I just haven't had that many Gladiator's pieces compared to the amount of options I have for Shiminawa's pieces, right? So as far as attack percent combos go, Shiminawa's just makes more sense. And that's all it'd be. That's kind of all it'd be. And then 4-piece bonuses are very relevant on a lot of characters too. So on this account, so it just like makes 2-piece gladiators not great. And then 4-piece gladiators is also just not relevant. Like there's just better options than 4-piece gladiators for every character. There's just like no reason to do it ever, basically. And again, not being able to specifically farm it outside of Strongbox makes it like, why would I bother compared to Shiminawa's? So, anyways, what even is Xiao's build? I went over a couple different Xiao build options. If I make a video about a dedicated video about Xiao and its constellations and whatever, I'll say some of the things I said in this video. But like I showed earlier, I think the thing that still makes the most sense is keeping him on VV, whether I'm trying to DPS him or not, because his main team where he makes sense to be an on-field DPS. You still want him on VV for increasing the team's overall DPS more than he loses from being on a artifact set that is worse for his personal damage versus Marseille Hunters. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's kind of all I got in regards to that. What was I going to do? I was going to do something else this stream, but I totally forgot what it was. Anyone want to remind me, or is that the end of the stream? 2-hour stream. I've rambled so much longer than I thought I was going to ramble for. So, you know, if anyone wants to see anything, I'm down. I'm not tired right now. I'm down to show something else. I thought I was going to do something else, but I forgot what it was. So, that probably means I'm not doing it. Oh, I can farm resin. Was that what I wanted to do? I guess that's what I was going to do. Oh. So I don't know. If anyone doesn't either remind me what I wanted to do, or what was it? I feel like it wasn't that. Was it? No, was it just talents? I know I said I was gonna do this, and I am gonna do it. I'm gonna go do it right now. But like, did I craft my resin? I didn't. I'm gonna go farm a little bit of those because I want to be able to have enough to level 9 Xiao's talent once I get the weekly drops. Could have sworn there was something else. Did we test Xiao? Oh no, I didn't finish testing Xiao. That was probably it. Okay, good. Pull for C for Xiao. Yeah, that was what I planned to do this video. No. And we're gonna do actually 2 of these too, because I think I'm gonna need a little bit more. Yeah, we'll go test Xiao real quick. Oh, is my internet okay? We'll see. So yeah, my goal, how many do I need? Because any extra I'm going to put into, because I want to get, so my farming goals right now on the account is relatively simple. Need to get enough of these, which is only, I need 22, right? So that's only 6 more than I need for this, which is easy to do. And then anything extra I am going to go spend to farm for, what's their bucket? For Guoba, because I have a video planned where I crown Guoba. So the video idea is playing Xiangling, or building Xiangling the wrong way, which is to say maximizing Guoba damage rather than maximizing burst damage. Which, it'll be weird. I don't know. It'll be fun. But the plan is basically to do a vape Guoba on Polearms Only, and give her probably Staff of Scarlet Sands, do an EM, do my disgusting, this absolutely disgusting EM timepiece. That was on Hu Tao here, but I should switch that back before I forget. Switch back to this. Yeah, use that disgusting EM timepiece. I've got a 40 CV feather. I've got 2 good, really good feather flower option there. I've got an extraordinarily good crit damage circlet. So, like, I have the ability to do like maximum damage possible Guoba basically on Polearms Only. Obviously, I don't have external character buffing. So I don't have Bennett. I don't have Farina. Right, so I can't do that. I can't get the literal maximum possible. That's not what I mean. But I can get basically the maximum possible for Polearms Only. And, yeah, ignore Xiangling's burst and see how good Xiangling still is. So, got a crown though for that, of course. How can I not? Guoba deserves it. It's just the state Polearms Only is in. I don't really need to spend my resin anywhere else, such that it can actually make sense. Genuinely, just in like for a normal build Xiangling, it's like, hey, what are the improvements I can actually make to Polearms Only right now? Well, I use Xiangling a lot, and Guoba does do damage. It's objectively better to make Guoba do slightly more damage than he was before, so, yeah. Anywho's. English is your 3rd language. Nice, impressive. We are going to go to this domain. I remember what the other. No, it wasn't just talents. It was. I'm not gonna. I think I've changed my mind. I'm not gonna do it now because it's. This was something like, I didn't think I was going to be able to talk for more than like 30 minutes to an hour about Xiao, and then internet issues, and I distracted myself and yada yada. I was planning on spending like an hour farming for this stream, but I think I'm going to postpone that. I'll probably still do it, but just not in this stream or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna finish farming for talents here, and that'll probably be it for this stream. I need to farm prosperity. How many of the base ones do I have? None. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, we need to test Xiao. So remind me, after we're done with the talent farming here, which should only take a minute, we need to go test out Xiao. Test her C6 more properly. I mean, I'm okay with you talking about Xiao for another hour or so. I don't think I have anything else to say about Xiao, though. I think I've kind of rambled on everything I have to say. And if I plan out some more condensed thoughts in the future, I'll have a video on it, right? I'm good. Welcome to lag farming. And, oh, I didn't use Chevreuse' skill, so I'm not building up stacks, but it's fine. And normally I've been using Xiangling in this domain, and it takes like literally 20 seconds to beat, but I swapped Xiangling out, so it's fine. We'll see how it works with Toma. Thanks for the minimum drops game. If I have to use all the resin for just this one, I will, but I was hoping to get a little bit for Xiangling, which is fine. It probably won't take me more than just this week to get the drops from Xiangling. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was... Not that it matters. I love that this Raiden build... It's either Raiden, right? But barely matters. But like, this Raiden build gets... Oh, really? Screw! This Raiden build gets 90%, I think, of what I can get with Raiden on a traditional build. But I have EM main stat, like, it significantly smooths out her damage that she gets from off-field, and makes her teams feel a lot more consistent. It's a very high investment thing to do, I acknowledge, but it's also super fun. Stop ping-ponging them back and forth the wrong direction. Okay, benefit of the Xiangling, in this domain specifically, benefit of Xiangling is I usually can just do Raiden E into Xiangling into Chevreuse. Xiangling will kill the Hilly Trails, and then into Chevreuse will kill the two dudes. But then now I'm having a ping pong back and forth here. That's just being annoying. Okay, do I have enough? Let's see. This is 4 plus, let's welcome to Souls math time. 7, that's enough, I think, right? Because I only need 6. Okay, good. Alright, 16 plus 6 is 22, and I need 12 for level 9 for the, yep, 22. Okay, yep, I can math. Alright, let's do this again then. I'll show what I was talking about with Xiangling here quick. And then we'll go test out C6 Xiao, and that's, I think, all I gotta do this stream. Please? Why did I switch? No, I said Xiao, my brain was like, Xiao. 150k from Raiden's burst. That wasn't even, that was without like building up stacks on Chevreuse either. And Raiden on this team can easily get over 200k with C3. But whenever someone has a C2 versus C2 or C3, Raiden compared to the damage that a C1 Raiden gets, like, just, it's not comparable. Like, you can't. That really, that defense shred is making an enormous difference. See? Don't even have to use Raiden's burst for farming this domain. In this team. Xiangling, a good character, go figure. But in Abyss, like I said, I like to use the Tome of Variation. I farmed the wrong one! Can I leave? I accidentally clicked the same one. Whoops. It's fine, I'm just pre-farming for crowning Xiao at this point. No, Xiao's not getting a crown. So, anyways. If Raiden was C0 still, I think she would get... I played with her in this team. I think I had footage on the channel playing with her with the hybrid build without C6 Chevreuse, right? Or did I? I don't know. I don't remember. I thought I tested that, but from what I recall and from my experience doing a very similar build on my main account with Chevreuse, without Chevreuse C6 notably, I get in the more in the 80 to 100k range on the same hybrid build, but with a C0 Raiden, like, it's literally like twice the damage for Raiden's personal damage. It makes a difference. I think I need to do these, yeah. I can get more like burst damage out of Raiden with an Electro Goblet versus an EM Goblet, and it's probably still better to do an Electro Goblet or an Attack Goblet even in this team than like on a measurable how much total DPS can you do level. It's better, but the thing with Genshin is you have circumstances like that where Raiden didn't burst there, right? When Raiden's not bursting, the damage she's getting from just triggering overloads off-field by having a EM heavy build is higher than she could get otherwise in that contest because I wasn't bursting. Now, and that same concept applies in Abyss in harder content, right? Wherein she's getting damage, you're removing some potential burst damage from her by doing a hybrid build like this from her big initial hit or whatever, but you're adding additional damage that she like triggers off field and whatever. And so it's not just like, oh my god, you're making damage from Raiden worse, but you are balancing it out to be in her damage contribution is from different aspects of her and how she's being used. And notably, it's aspects of her that's contributed off field. More significantly than most Raiden builds normally do. And that just makes her feel a lot more consistent in my experience to have the ability to just be off-field, trigger an overload, and get like 20k AoE damage. Well, it's more like 17k if I recall. Makes a big difference. So, It hurts so much to see him farm talent mats to get when you get double amount next week. What am I supposed to farm? Like I've spent this whole video, like 30 minutes in this video, being like, my characters are so freaking hyper invested that I have this insane like I have so many ridiculous like high investment builds in this account because like by nature limiting yourself to polearm characters, you only have a specific subset of characters to farm for, and like my whole like I spent a whole tirade about like my characters are so freaking high investment that I don't even need to farm artifacts anymore. Like, and it gives me no value. It doesn't even matter that I'm a little bit wasteful for resin. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Let's sure, Layla. Maybe it'll double. Nope, that's fine. And here we'll do Layla again for the funsies. And blam. Like I will still probably farm these next week, to be clear, because I still need a little bit more. Like I need, how many do I need? I need 16 of these are reserved for Xiao, by the way. And then I have 10, so I still need like 32 more, right? No, sorry. 16 plus 12, 28. I need like 30 more, right? I still need 30 more of these. It'll be fine. I didn't waste any resin here even. So, like, but even if I did, it's not that big a deal. It's like resin efficiency no longer matters in this account, to the point that like I was not joking when like, even though like I might never even meaningfully care about using Xiao's burst, it might be more worthwhile for me to just farm for VV artifacts on Xiao. So like I can have a really high quality 4-piece VV DPS oriented Xiao build for that Rosaria Xiangling team, just in case I feel like showing some Xiao some love. Because Xiao is like the only character I haven't meaningfully invested in. I have meaningfully invested in him, but not in the build that makes the most sense for him on the account. Like I have a very good MH build on him, but the MH build does not actually make sense. So that's basically what this stream was about. And how I can do inefficient things, right? Because that's just how this account be. But anyways, craft 8. You know what? Here, Layla. I believe this literally doesn't matter because I have more than I need. Layla, give me 8 additional, because why not? Oh, or 0. That's fine. It would have been legendary to get a 10% chance 8 times in a row. So. Oh yeah, testing Yaya. Thank you. But yeah, I will farm VV probably once I am done farming talent materials, which is not going to take that long, right? Like I have enough. I crown Shenhe. I have enough now to level up Xiao once I get the weekly boss drops. To level up Xiao to level 9. I have more than I need, which is fine. And I now have enough. I might still farm a little bit for Toma to crown him eventually, but like. Probably not. Well, I don't know. You can see I just need the weekly boss drops, and then I have enough to level 9 him. I'm probably not going to crown him anytime soon. And then I have to plan to crown Guoba, but literally it'll just take this week. So like, yeah. After that point, after this week, basically, what do I farm? What do I spend time farming? Like that can actually give me value. I have a top 1% Xiangling. I have a ridiculous Raiden build that doesn't even have a leaderboard. That's how 1% it is. This is a joke. But yeah, I have this insane Hu Tao build. I have a really, really good Chevrolet build. I have Shenhe needs no improvements. Sino, he's functional. Sino has Sino problems. His build, I can't really improve him any meaningfully further. Well, okay, I can. Obviously, the crit rate's not ideal there, but the reason his crit rate is scuff is because he needs ER, but this is a problem that gets fixed by just farming Thundering Fury through Strongbox more than anything. So my intention, I think, is to farm VV basically when I don't have anything else to farm at this point, and try to get better stuff for Xiao, even though that's probably useless. So, anyways, oh, speaking of Sino, I think I have enough to double crown him as well. I don't have enough. Like I have the resources. I just don't have the justification to spend the crowns on him specifically. But maybe eventually as I stockpile more crowns again. But I'm right now at the perfect amount of crowns that I need. I want to say, because I don't know what Arlecchino's talents look like. There might be a reason to level up all 3 of Arlecchino's talents, which means I might need 3 crowns for Arlecchino, assuming she's fun and, you know, whatever. And then I plan to use 3 for Hu Tao, Chungling, and someone else, don't remember. So it's like, yeah, anyways. And Xiao Xiao I might level up talents too eventually, a little bit more, but not that important. Yeah, his talents are very not important. So, yarp. Let's go test Xiao Xiao, I suppose. Figure out her C6 nuances, which I could just look up, to be clear, but I think it's fun to test things. Okay, do this. We're gonna put Zhongli here.
What shall we do?
Actually, no, we're not gonna be against enemies, so that didn't really matter. So all we're gonna do is we're just gonna go in like where's an open area that we can go that doesn't have like grass that distracts like not that like the grass is like distracting on a visual level, like the grass is so attractive, but more the radishes might actually, it's just right here. I can just do right here in like the plaza or something, but the radishes might be hidden behind the grass or something, and so I just don't want, I want to be able to see all the radishes properly. Physical shall win. True. Where can you see the statistic for your Xiangling being the 1%? Yeah, it's Akasha. Which, to be clear, I don't think it's that healthy to just constantly compare yourself to other builds on there. I'm just seeing it as I'm saying it as a comparative example, as proof, as like a metric that people use to prove, like, yeah, these characters are very hyper invested in this account. Because that's just the nature of Polearms Only. And okay, so Xiao Xiao C6, what we're testing here to end up the stream. So obviously, Xiao Xiao C6 every 2 radishes she does, she spits out the big radish, and that's an additional instance of Dender application. Remember, these randomly target enemies. It does specifically say it's limited though to two big radishes per Uruguay throwing mode. But it specifically says every Uruguay throwing mode can throw out a maximum of 2 mega radishes. But then the way her burst is phrased is kind of, it's like summons Uruguay jumping mode, but the behavior is the same as the Uruguay throwing mode. And then a maximum of 3 Uruguay jumping modes can exist at any one time. So personally, I think it's a completely fair interpretation of Xiao Xiao's C6 and the phrasing of her burst. Like with this thing saying, Uruguay jumping mode can have 3 instances, and it behaves the same as throwing mode, and her C6 says throwing mode gets the 2 additional radishes. Theoretically, Xiao Xiao's burst could cause an additional 6 instances of Dendra application with the big radish, with her C6, right? I do not think it actually causes 6 extra radishes. The interesting thing I want to simulate here, though, is like normally Xiao Xiao's use for me usually goes something like use Xiao Xiao, do this, do this, not necessarily in that specific order, and then Xiao Xiao burst here, right? Do we get any more big radishes? No, I didn't see any big radishes that weren't from her skill. So that's lame in my opinion. We'll go test it again real quick. There might have been some big radishes that spawned, but I don't think any big radishes actually spawned there. Oh god, I need to go to Sumeru or something, I guess. And yeah, I didn't see any big radishes spawn. I think the only big radishes that were on the field there were from her skill initially, which isn't surprising. That is what I thought. I thought it was only 2 additional instances of Dender application, which is still good. Like, again, it increases our Dender application, and notably it increases it in single target, which is Xiao Xiao's main downside for this account. Do I have the Sumeru window? Nope, I don't. I don't think I've actually completed the Sumeru story to be able to unlock it. So, yeah. That's unfortunate. I expected that. I do think that's one of those things, like, Mahoyo, you need to word things better. Because, like, I easily think, that someone could look at this C6, read that wording, and go, oh, Xiao Xiao C6, I mean, it specifically says the behavior is the same as throwing mode. Lie, I'm sorry. That's a lie, right? The behavior of this version is the same? No, it's not. with her C6, it's objectively a different behavior, right? So, to be clear, it's still good that it increases her Dendro application, but I think the way her burst is phrased is misleading, is basically what I can say. Would it make her... I honestly think she doesn't need 6 additional units of Dendro application to be abundantly clear. It's just not a thing that would be necessary for Xiao to be a relevant character. She's relevant regardless of that. She's relevant without her C6. Her C6 is just like a really minor upside. And I'm just saying that based on all the way it's phrased, I think people could easily be led to believe without having to without testing it themselves by having it or whatever, they might do polls for Xiao C6 thinking it significantly increases her Dendro application based on the wording when it does not. It really annoys me that they specifically add that line there that's like, yeah, Xiao's burst specifically operates the same as the throwing mode does. And then her C6 says throwing mode. No, it doesn't behave the same. Just call it a different thing because it is a different thing. And they call it a different thing, they call it jumping mode. But then for some reason they feel like adding a line in here that jumping mode operates the same as throwing mode. But it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because they wanted that excuse of being like, no, because it's jumping mode. It doesn't actually do throwing mode. That's why you don't get C6 extra radishes in her burst. Okay, sure. But just call it jumping mode. Don't do misleading bullshit like this, Mahoyo. Just call it jumping mode. Alright, there we go. So we're not going to use her skill this time. Skill's gone. Watch for any big radishes. Just as a double check, but I'm 98% sure at this point. Nope. All small radishes. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's fine. It doesn't make Xiao a bad character. By any means. She is a better character with C6 than without it, but is an extraordinarily unnecessary constellation. But it will make a more noticeable difference on Polearms Only because, like I said, so for this account, right, the fact that I can get an additional Dendro application out, right, with her radishes means... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Means that you can have additional 2 Dendro cores generated per skill use on Xiao. An additional 2 Dendro cores per rotation is an additional, if I'm doing just a pure Hyperbloom build on Raiden with 4-piece Flowers of Paradise, my Raiden can get in the 35,000 damage range for her Hyperbloom damage. So generating 2 more Hyperbloom core, or Virgin words, 2 more Bloom cores that can be triggered by Raiden for Hyperbloom is an additional 70,000 damage per rotation. And that, with how many times Polearms Only has, been right on the edge of, man, for a long time, this account has been, I was able to 36-star in Abyss Cycle right at the 7-minute mark, right, for a 3-star clear in a chamber. And that's something like that additional 70,000 damage per rotation might have made it quite a bit more comfortable, such that it might have taken me hours less of retries just by having that slightly higher DPS. So it's not useless, is what my point is. It does improve one of the downsides of Xiao, which was her single target Dendro application. So that's why I wanted it. The big radish is nice. But was it necessary? Was it worth getting 2 Xiaos in conjunction? Yeah. They were both early, but I would rather have the pity back, right? Because yeah, just imagine those are Arlequinos. That's the ultimate conclusion. But Xiao is fun. I do think it will be... It is nice to have Xiao C6, and nice to have it not be a factor in, guiding how I pull for characters in the future. Now it's really just C6 Toma and Rosaria that could influence that, which is nice. And, yep. Confusion radishes, indeed. Alright, I think that's all I got for this stream. Sorry about the quality laggy issues. I don't know. I blame my internet. It might be some mix of internet and OBS, but oh well. It's what it is. Well, someday I'll get better internet, but that day is not today. Yaya's a fun character. Her jumping animation's fantastic. Does she have a special jumping animation? I assume she does because she's incentive. They want you to jump with her for the funsies. What is the other? Oh, no, never mind. I was gonna say what does the other chibi character's jumping animation look like, but I can't do that because there is no other chibi characters in the game. Because there's only polearm characters in the game. I don't know why. I don't get what the point. I mean, Hoya's a weird company, right? They make this Gaji game, and they don't even release that many characters for me. Like, how has it been a year and a half since we've even gotten a 5-star character? Wild. For some reason, only polearms exist in the game, though. But is what it is. Is what it is. So I can't even test that out. But, anyways, C2 fixes his ER problems. Xiao's ER problems? I mean, not really. I really don't think it did. Like I had 110% energy recharge on Xiao when I was showing that modern Horizons, Mars Odyssey Hunters build before, and 110% was not enough. This build would be enough, and I'm pretty sure, I'm quite confident. And the 130% ER version of the build with this circlet should be enough as well. But yeah, the energy recharge constellation I really don't think fixes his energy recharge. Yeah, I think this probably functionally decreases his ER needs in I don't know, man. The problem is, like, I think the best Xiao team right now, in my opinion, is Xiao, Cloud Retainer, Farazan, Farina. And that is a team variation that generates enough animal particles that I think it's actually, like, very realistic to use Farazan without having Farazan C6. Obviously, Farazan C6 would still be good, but, like, you have so many animal particles that, like, it's going to be low enough. And point is, you're going to have so many animal particles from just using, you know, Cloud Retainer and Xiao together, and then Farazan, especially if you have your C6s, you're going to generate so many animal particles that, like, you have 0 ER needs on Xiao then, in what I consider Xiao's best team. So, like, this does nothing for Xiao in like many of its good team variations, because Farazan is a much better, like, energy refunder for Xiao than Farazan C6 than Xiao's own constellation is. So, like, what does this do? Well, this fixes his energy needs in what situations? I guess when you're doing Bennett, Zhongli. Who was the old? What teammate did you used to use as the 4th slot for Xiao? I don't even know. Who did people play with Xiao before like Cloud Retainer, Farazan, Farina options existed? I have no idea, honestly. Albedo, yeah. So it was probably Shungling, I guess. And, like, yeah, and when he's mono animo, like, it reduces his ER needs by what? Increases his ER by 25%, but it's off-field particles. If you're catching particles off-field, that's like it probably reduces his ER needs by like 1 or 2 ER rolls at most. So, but he still needs like 30 to 40%, 50% ER potentially in those teams. In the teams where it actually makes sense, where it gives use. So I don't know, man. Amber was the last slot. Jean or Albedo, yeah. You wanted to do co-op things? I was gonna do co-op things, but now we're 2 hours and 20 minutes in the stream, and I was gonna go farm for this in other people's worlds. Oh, fine. Screw it. We'll go farm for it, man. Okay, so the reason I wanted to do in co-op. Okay, so if you're on NA. Do I even have viewers still, or are they all leave? No, I have 67 viewers. So if you're on NA, if people don't have the ability to join, or give me their codes or whatever, then I'm not going to. But the reason I haven't farmed for this, right, is because it is annoying. If I click this button here, it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work, and I know I can use the interactive map. The reason it doesn't work is I haven't unlocked the area. I haven't gotten to unlock the map here. And no, I am not going to unlock the map now. I am stubborn. I'm not going to do it, okay? So if anyone wants me to join or join their world, I'm down to join your world. You have to use polearm characters. That is a requirement. But I can join your world, and then we can go and farm. We can go and farm those hilly trail drops in your world. just so I can be done with that forever, and then have this leveled up. I don't think it'll take that long because it's oh god, do I need these too? Frick, I had to use a bunch of those for talent materials lately. I guess we're farming whopper flowers too. I don't think the whopper flowers will be that much of an issue, but so many people would want those unused dragon's banes. Indeed, it's a side effect of wishing a bit more on the weapon banner. So, yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, YouTube won't let it send them. Oh yeah, you can ping Sylveon in Discord, or if you usually I found before, like if you do UID, 645 208 216, that's my main account UID. If you do UID with the numbers before in the past, YouTube has not blocked sending your UID in chat, but if you send just the number, it probably won't. But YouTube might have also changed it, and it might not let you send it at all anymore. So I don't know. We'll see. People have been able to send their UIDs before, but usually you just have to send it alongside saying something else in the message, right? If you just send the numbers, YouTube automatically seems to not let it show up. So, anyways, why did I come here? Oh yeah, I was going to check for whopper flower drops. I mean, yeah, I can't make this account EU, unfortunately. So that's just Mihoyo things, because no one on the planet has friends that are not directly nearby you. So why would you ever want to play with people that aren't in your region? That's just nonsense from Mihoyo's perspective. I genuinely don't get that. From what I understand, it's just a normal dumbass thing with like MMOs and gacha games. Makes literally no sense to me. It's actually just like anti-human it's a fucking anti-human software feature to region lock co-op. Just saying. So, anyways, apparently we are not going to be doing this because nobody can post their UIDs in chat. If I had known, I would have prepared earlier. If I had thought it, not known, if I had prepared more, I would have done this earlier. But oh well. If nobody can do it, I will just do this on my lonesome and use the stupid interactive map. I will go and farm some whopper flowers right now, though. At least the whopper flowers is the lower rarity materials, so need less of them. But I think who needed them? I think someone needed them still, so I have to save some. Yeah, you needed them, didn't you? Yeah, okay. Did Xiangling need them? No, I think Xiangling was slime, because everyone is slime. Yeah, you're slime, and so is Xiao. Okay. I got a UID. Hey, what a world. Okay. I think it's a language barrier. Here's how you fix the language barrier. I just messaged someone randomly, but there you go. Human communication can function without having to speak the same language. They already implemented the solution to the language barrier. Most of the time when people talk to me in English when they join my account, I use only these. I mean, not that you can see that on this, I guess, but I don't remember the last time I actually sent a message on this account. Hello. Yep. See, I'm just going to communicate with Trevor in emoji. Let's say, here, we're going to communicate with these things. I want to communicate to Trevor. I don't know if Trevor's watching, so this would potentially trivialize this if Trevor is watching. Let's see, what do we want to communicate? I want to communicate
the world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at
that
or a bubble
I appreciate like what's a normal thing when you're doing co-op with people, right? I guess like the simplest thing is just like thanks, right? And you just be like, yeah, do a love thing or whatever. It's like thanking for people, or right? But I want to do something slightly more complicated. So you're gonna be like, hi, right? So you do the hi, and then you do, you know, I am, you know, really, let's say I'm really, you know, bored right now of Genshin, and it's like kind of burning me out, right? So I'm just like having a snooze, and then like I don't know, man, you get the point, right? You can communicate information without words. Tell them that you love Candace's liquids. I will pass. I'm not saying you can have meaningful, nuanced conversation through emojis. I want to be abundantly clear. But for just playing games and vibing with people, the language barrier is not the reason. That's a bullshit excuse. And it's anti-human again. Just saying. So dumb. It's so dumb to me because I want to be clear. Like, one of the things I find, I need to join this person's world. Oh, that's you, Satan. Hello. I need to. I think one of the really valuable things about co-op in games is the ability to have experiences with people that are living in different areas of the world, and to interact with people even if there might be a language barrier. I have had valuable experiences with people that have joined my Genshin world that didn't speak English. And I've had to like translate the stuff in some cases, or just speak with emojis. And they're like, hello, Taeon. So like, you know, Venti, and yeah, I don't know, you get the point, right? You can have valuable, fun experiences with people around the world and connect with people in ways that you couldn't otherwise connect with meaningfully without the avenue of a game, right? And a game can enable that. And that's something that's really special, I think, about games and like online communication in general, is this ability to connect people across the world. And Mihoyo was gone, you don't get to connect across the world. Why? Because regions. Why are the regions necessary? All the reasons for it. There is none. There's no real reason. Well, no, I can tell you the real reason. The real reason is because they know that some amount of people will make multiple accounts, and having multiple accounts means multiple accounts to spend money on in this game. And they'd make multiple accounts just to play with their friends that live in different parts of the world. So, anyways, sorry. Like, as someone that's a communication major, it really irks me that that's a thing. I genuinely stand by it. It's an anti-human software feature. So, anyway, let's go to the farm some things. You will have to... Committing animo acts. Can you navigate to the... Wait. Can I navigate? I actually should check that first. I don't know. I don't know if I can navigate. Enhance... Does it let me navigate now that I'm in someone else's world? It does. Let's go. Okay, sweet. We're doing the lazy thing, right? And we're doing the lazy thing and just going wherever we see. So okay, like the real reason Kangoshi, like the real technical reason is probably just because it was normal to do that shit for some reason, and just like roll out like when they're building the software backbone for these games. It's just normal to do it on a regional level. And you could argue that like the technical reason is for like latency to have a good experience. But like bull to the f***ing shit. I'm sorry. Like there's too many aspects of this game that are unnecessarily tied to server checks. If they actually cared about player experience as far as like a latency thing goes. Like, it's not... What is going on here with the graphical glitch? What kind of goofy there. First time I've seen this issue. There's a weird line of doom. I kind of want to follow it and see how long... Okay, we're going to kill this thing, and we're going to see how far the line goes. But I'm going to switch to somebody else here for a little bit more convenient farming. Hutao's not on MH, but it'll be fine. Or Hutao's not on Shimanoa's, which is better, because we will not be able to do MH. Okay, I think these things drop a lot of their stuff, so I don't think it'll take us that long. Might have to go like 3 or 4 people's worlds. Yeah, time to follow the weird line. So I don't see any reason for co-op. It's because they've done a terrible job at making co-op a good experience. That's why. That's on them. for designing. They design co-op like shit. Co-op is fundamentally designed like just idiotic. I've seen them market this game as being an online co-op game, and that's just false advertising in my opinion. Because the game's mechanics do not function in co-op. Does the line end? The line ended. Okay. It's a weird graphical bug. Very odd. Oh no, it doesn't end. I see it going all the way to the horizon. Oh crap. Well, we're gonna follow it. Will is trying to enter your world. Well, there goes protection. Oh well. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's something that's just philosophically for me, right? And like I think games have heavily value to connect people, and region locking stuff, even considering doing it on a baseline level when you're designing a game, whatever justification you have, where it is anti-human, it's against the point of doing co-op in the first place. And I don't know, it just transparently shows to me that, like, oh, the reason co-op exists in this game, so they can say it has co-op. Where does this line go? Where does it end? Is this the line to Conria? We're gonna hit the barrier soon. If I was in the mood to, I would absolutely do the log in, log out shenanigans to try to follow this line until the end of time. Okay. Sadly, we will never know where the Great Line ends, but is what it is. Let's teleport to here. Can y'all help me farm Rift Hounds? I'm just gonna ignore them. I'm busy farming my own thing, sorry. Taeon is more than welcome to help them if they want, but I am busy farming other things. If co-op has mic, good. No, I usually turn off microphones in co-op in games. The fundamental issue with co-op in Genshin, why it's implemented like crap on a mechanical level, ignoring the region locking stupidity, is... sorry, having a stroke. I can word. Is this game, right, like, they make characters in this game to interact with other characters. That is fundamentally how, like, everything, like, the vast majority of these characters in this game do not feel good when you play them alone. There are units that are better for co-op because of this, because they're just good at, like, enabling themselves. Nubilite is probably the best co-op character in the game because he enables himself to heal himself and deal damage in a competent fashion that you don't have to have things going on for him to feel okay when you're just like, if I was just using him for overworld farming here, right? To be clear, I think people overrate his strength as a solo unit a lot because of his C1 and weapons existence, but he is still a very good unit at, like, just being like, use skill, do charge attack, kill hilly turtle, right, in co-op. And he still feels just as good in co-op as he does in normal play. But, like, fundamentally, my Hu Tao, right, like, I'm gonna die here potentially, because my build on my Hu Tao ceases functioning when I don't have teammates, right? And their idea was like, oh, the people in co-op are your teammate. But this is an open world game. And what were they thinking? They thought that, yeah, people when they're doing co-op together in this open world game, god damn it. In this open world game, okay, the next person I join, by the way, please do not let a second person in, because I need to be able to, like, I need to have at least two characters to even be able to farm without trying to, like, be like, okay, now I gotta be dodging everything. Like, I just want to farm things quickly, and now I can't farm things quickly because the co-op is so shittily designed, right? Like to be clear, I love you, Will. You're using Yai. I gotta respect that. But like at the same time, Mahoya was designing the co-op experience in this game that has made my experience terrible there, because now my character who drains her own health and therefore will get one shot by everything because I used her skill 3 times and I can't use any teammates with her, doesn't function anymore. Yeah, Hutao bring game her own client. And that's dumb. I think Chevreuse might actually be the most competent. Well, Man, I don't even know. There's no good polearm unit that's like a good at sustaining himself solo. Hutao Zhongli was more than fine, but again, like there was a perfect example of like, yep, this character now just doesn't function for something as simple as farming, and like people don't stay near each other. Like even if your people are glued near each other, they're still not gonna stay right near each other, always attacking the same exact thing, because it's an open world game. It's a freaking open world game. Someone will get distracted, and why did it spawn me over here? What in the actual F? It's an open world game. Someone will faff about, like, I'll be going and farming hilly trails, and they might be going with me, but then they'll see a chest in the distance, and they'll go to that chest, right? And then now my character's not functioning because they weren't glued to my side. It's an open world game. People don't stick glued to each other in an open world game in co-op. Like, good lord. It's just, I do not understand how they could even consider that as a good idea. They fundamentally made this game to function as a team-based game with the characters interacting with each other, and they're like, yeah, let's make it in co-op. We remove that so that you no longer have the ability as a player to control how the things are interacting. Okay. On top of numerous other things that are problematic, like the fact that you can't actually do anything in co-op with people other than like farm for artifacts or garbage. I don't have energy on riding. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Co-op in this game. I did put it here, but in chat, Selena's stream doesn't appear. What do you mean? What? I'm confused what you're saying. I don't check my friend requests actively in game. So. I mean, who do I even use, man? All these freaking characters have their own problems in co-op. I really think it might be Chevreuse. We'll see, though. We're still not going to get, like, overloads or anything, obviously, so her damage is going to be a lot less. I have no idea. Like, the co-op experience is so bad here that I'm just, like, I want to end the stream now, I'll be honest. Like, I'm just in a really bad mood immediately. This is the co-op experience, so, like, yeah, I'm just, okay. I'm not gonna do it. I'll rejoin. You can message in chat. I can rejoin your world when you don't have a second person there. Like, I need 2 characters. I am not gonna try farming with only 1 character. That's how bad the co-op experience is in this game. I can have insane, hyper-invested Hutao, and still it feels miserable to farm an overworld because co-op is that bad. Because the game is made to be able to have different characters, and the nuance of how you interact with them is how you do things. And even when characters are like Hutao, where all I would need is Zhongli. Oh, there's 3 people in co-op. LOL, have fun. And then they do extra toxic bullshit, like C2 Zhongli. Like, what the f***? This character's whole gimmick is shielding. That's why people get him. He should generate a shield for everyone in co-op. Like, that's... What? So, anyways. I'm gonna join UID 123456789. I feel like that's not your UID. So, I guess the problem with that friends list is the friends list is probably full. So, if you sent a friends list... I guess what you guys can do, yeah, see the friends list is full. So if you send a friend request, I don't think it's going to show up here. I'm not going to go through every one of these and deny or accept them. try to join off of me, because I think what I can do is you can join. This is so stupid. Again, like, why is it this clunky? But this is more of a YouTube problem than anything. But you can try to join off of me, right? Type in my UID 650-998-733 there. I guess I can put that in chat. So try to join on me, and then I think after you join on me, you will appear somewhere. There's a recent players list somewhere. Is it friends list? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Right here. So you can join me, and then you will appear in the recent co-op list, and I can join your world. So stupid. If you want to farm my world, you can join. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I will join. All right. Yeah, I'll let someone else in. Wait, I think that is you, Satan. All right. So, all right. Yep. And then they left. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I let him in, so now we well, okay. And now it just is tedious. And thanks, YouTube. This is YouTube, not Hoyo's fault for once. Can I leave? No. Okay. Well, and now we're stuck here because this is another thing with co-op, or like a problem with co-op in this game. To be clear, this one I understand more, but again, it's like the aspect of people's variable loading times is one of those annoying things. There's a lot of time when you're playing co-op in Genshin where it's just like you spend time waiting for other people. So, yeah. Okay. And nope, wrong button. Friends. And I will send you a friend request as a thank you. I'll send her a friend request to Talon too. And then we'll request to join. Going to the T-bot immediately ends co-op. Haha, good hack. Thank you. Why does it do that? Who knows? But if it forcibly ends it even blocked, that's funny. Yeah, good lord. Okay. Let's switch here. And I should put Hutao on Chiminao, like I said, since we aren't actually getting the crit rate stacks in this case, but it'll be fine. I don't feel like changing the build. Why do I keep on pressing the wrong button? And
Silly churl, Billy churl,
oh, we already know to enhance once.
churl.
Oh god, there's gonna be a lot of weapons to go through, isn't there? Okay, you know, can I? Is there a quick salvage button like? Seems to not be. That's really annoying. Why?
Toodaloo.
Oh, I have to do that. Wait, auto add. Oh, there we go. Okay, there is. Okay, it's just weird. Okay. It only did 3-star weapons. That's fine. Okay, destroy. Blam. What? Oh god, the leg. Okay, I was confused. Alright, auto add. 3-star weapons. Please, lag. There we go. I don't understand what there's a 100 limit, but it's fine. Alright, there we go. Probably didn't delete anything that was relevant, but I don't care. There we go. This game, I'm glad I've never used co-op for farming anything other than events. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Blam. Okay, and there we go. Boy, the lag. Is my stream still working? Stream is working. Okay, well, that's something. Alright, sorry for the delay. Thank you for letting me in your world. I greatly appreciate it. Because I am a stubborn butthole and refuse to do it in my own world because I don't want to unlock the map.
Stabilize.
Fall back and await my orders.
Okay, What was that line that we heard from Raiden? I think I heard fall back and wait my order. I've never heard that line from Raiden before. When did she say that? You know, I've just never heard it over the sound of what? Her initial hit or something? I don't know. I can find you to add as a friend, but not to co-op. Genshin is so weird. It might be because I'm in co-op right now. I'm not sure. Why am I going the wrong direction? You know what? I guess I could switch to Xiao here and get some value out of him in Overworld, but then I'd have to constantly switch back. That's another problem with co-op, right? Is you might have to constantly, because you don't have access to all your characters, just like switch to like normal to like use your Cloud Retainer or whatever, or your Xiao to like navigate through Overworld quickly. Situations like this where like, hey, I need to use Hu Tao and Zhongli together to farm and not it be have it not be miserable. But then the experience of switching characters, which is something you'd have to do even more often in co-op than you even would do normally, takes 10 years to do, and you obviously can't do it in combat, and so yeah, you get the point. It's everything about co-op reeks of we did not put any meaningful, like by we I mean like taking Hoyo's perspective is like, I'm sorry, I don't think they I think they shoehorned co-op into this game for the purpose of being able to advertise that it has co-op, not because they actually gave a rat's ass about it being a good experience. That's my opinion. This game doesn't have co-op functionally. I don't have stamina, so can't really do cancels. Dead. Are you using Staff of Scarlet Sands? Please. Is this no, I need to do you have your build showing here? I need to see. Did you do this could be you did it. I what is this freaking goblet? Okay. I adore you. Thank you so much. Someone did it. See, this is why I made all the hybrid Raiden content and yapped about it forever. Is I wanted people to build hybrid Raiden, and I wanted people to... Yes, I love it. Thank you, mates. Thank you very much. I will say it in chat, actually, just in case they're not watching the stream because of being in game. But I adore that you're using hybrid Raiden. I adore it so much. Like, people use Staff of Scarlet Sands as a Raiden, to be clear, sometimes, and then they don't do hybrid build, right? They just do boring arse, you know, oh, we're using Staff of Scarlet Sands to give Raiden a bunch of crit rate build. I'm like, okay. Like, you can do so much more with the weapon, though, and that's why. So, thank you. Thank you so much for doing hybrid Raiden. You are the first not me person I've seen doing it. They're playing with no hands. I did it after your vid. I kind of figured. I appreciate that. I had an effect. Oh my god, can I crit? Maybe I should switch to Shimanawa. That thing would have been already dead. Oh, there's another one down here. Hybrid Raiden propaganda channel confirmed. I mean, more like Staff of Scarlet Sands and abusing the Elemental Mastery stat channel is honestly more what it is. And then Staff of Scarlet Sands is ridiculous. And like my whole point with the Hybrid Raiden video is I mentioned how like Staff of Scarlet Sands breaks what the balance of EM is, right? Because on a balance level, when you think about how they're designing this game, and like, okay, they have this conception on a design level. They want Elemental Mastery to do this in the game, and they want Attack to do this in the game. And both of these are stats that fundamentally are just used to make characters do damage in different ways. But their conceptualization for EM is that EM is a stat that only increases your character's damage when you're doing a reaction, right? is the simple way to right. It increases the reaction you're doing, right? The strength of the reaction, and but you know, if attack is still going to be a stat, attack still has to be relevant, right? So EM is balanced such that EM is only more relevant than attack when you are doing a reaction, right? So by making a weapon that converts elemental mastery to attack, you break that balance. You break that design balance. That's why it's so fun, and that's why it enables goofy things. One of the things I want to try with it, right, is doing like a hybrid Shenhe. And by the way, that's the same concept of like giving additional value to EM outside of what EM was. I don't know why I went and tried to steal your crap. Outside of what EM does at a baseline, I didn't realize it was over there, is something like Yai Miko, like hybrid Yai Miko that I did in my I main Yai video for 2 years, is fundamentally the same idea. Wherein like Yai has a passive that double dips on the value of EM such that it tilts the balance of the scales in favor towards EM. Speccing into EM over other stats. And yeah, so that's basically what it is. And Staff of Scarlet Sand is just one of the rare examples of something that enables that. It's not like objectively always better. That it's not like it's not like so broken that, oh my god, you should only build EM and never do EM and ignore all crit. Like, it's not that strong. They balanced it relatively well. And it's not like you can't do hybrid Raiden with the Battle Pass Polearm that we're leveling up here. But it makes it so much easier and a realistic possibility to consider doing something like building 500 EM on Raiden so that she gets, you know, 15, 20k overloads, 25k hyper blooms at the same time of getting good burst damage because of the conversion. Whereas if you use the Battle Pass Polearm, you can get some good reaction damage, good hyper bloom damage by using the new Battle Pass Polearm, but trying to find the balance is so much harder because you're not double dipping on the value EM gives you. EM is only benefiting you when you're triggering reactions, and your normal Raiden damage is not really benefiting you from the EM, right? Whereas with Staff of Scarlet Sand, it is, because you are converting it to attack, which does give you a benefit. It breaks the balance by making EM have relevance outside of the original design intention, which is that EM is only relevant for reactions. Now EM can be relevant for things other than just reactions. And that's all it fundamentally is. So, anyways. I want to do hybrid Shenhe. The only problem with hybrid Shenhe, I mean, the thing is, I think it's going to work, because the problem with hybrid Shenhe is the same thing with problem with hybrid Raiden, in that Raiden has ER needs. The problem with Shenhe, though, is Shenhe's ER needs are worse than Raiden, with a C0 Shenhe at least. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. If there's a very good chance I might feel the need to go for a C1 Shenhe because of hybrid Shenhe on my main account, just to, you know, reduce her ER needs a little bit, such that it's more realistically possible. But Raiden has so much incentivization towards ER in general that she is more than happy to be built with a bunch of, like, you can just get more ER and substats, right? And you're doing two-piece, and you can do two-piece emblem for hybrid Raiden anyways, whereas hybrid Shenhe conceptually is going to have more energy issues, is all it comes down to. And what am I doing? Oh, we're done. Okay, let's go here. So yeah, hybrid Shenhe is fundamentally the same concept as Raiden, but has more potential problems by nature of less energy recharge synergy. That's basically all it comes down to. And yeah, the concept of hybrid Shenhe, by the way, is abusing, right? Shenhe's buff scales on attack, and you can make her deal damage by doing something like C6 Bennett, infusing her with Pyro. She could self-apply Pyro, enough Pyro to be able to get like either melts on her normal charge attacks or plunges, on top of her own buff, increasing her burst cryo damage. So whether or not she melts with her normal attacks, charge attacks, plunge attacks, or she melts with her burst by nature of just applying fast enough pyro through the infusion. Either way, she's melting, right? And so the idea is to use Staff of Scarlet Sands, build her with an EM timepiece and an EM goblet, which then gets converted to attack. Oh yeah, and a big problem is that Staff of Scarlet Sands requires hitting multiple times. So with Hybrid Shenhe, if you don't have C1 Shenhe, trying to like trigger with a C0 Shenhe, the passive fully is hard. You need to be in an AoE situation basically. Which is not always, so C1 Shenhe could really help with that. So again, I don't think Hybrid Shenhe is going to be as good as Hybrid Raiden, but conceptually it's doing pyro damage and cryo damage, and you normally, like, the problem with doing hybrid things like that conceptually by doing cryo and pyro damage at the same time is that you would have to pick between, okay, do you do an attack goblet to benefit both but then not maximize your cryo damage or pyro damage, or you do a pyro damage goblet to maximize your normal plunges, or do you do a cryo goblet to maximize your melt damage from your burst hits? But no, what you can do is you can do an EM goblet, right, and do like some whack goblet like this with Staff of Scarlet Sands with an EM timepiece, and have like 500 EM, like this same build I have in Raiden, copy and paste this build basically over to Shenhe, and assuming she gets her burst back consistently, which again, that's going to be the issue. Assuming she gets her burst back consistently, the idea is the EM gets converted to attack, right? If you get the bonus built up, and her attack is converted to cryo damage bonus on top of just being beneficial for increasing her own personal damage in general, whether it be pyro or whatever. And she's always going to be triggering some kind of reaction, meaning she's always getting some kind of value out of the EM on top of the compacted value from the... So, I don't know, it's really weird conceptually, and I think it might work. It's not something that will happen on Polearms Only, obviously, because it requires C6 Bennett. And there's some different team variations, comps I'm going to play around with, but that's something you can do on the same vein of abusing the strength of EM conversion, and also abusing the fact that Shenhe naturally wants to have a bunch of additional attack anyways, and therefore there's even further additional value from doing conversion from EM to attack, and then the attack is beneficial for her normal base calculation for damage, but also compounding calculation from the fact that she buffs herself, her cryo damage at least, not the power damage, even more based on attack. So, yarp. What am I doing? I gotta level up first. The heart in the corner is so annoying. I agree. Osmanthus 1. Blam. We made a character with a half-baked niche use case in the con Saluna. I'll take 6, exactly. Oh god, we need more Whopper Flowers. Well, that's just enough. Right now, at least. Whopper Flowers shouldn't be that bad to farm. Okay, and then I don't think I need any more of the base drops, so we can convert these. So yeah, I have a guarantee on my main account for C0 Shenhe, so there is a non-zero chance, like if I can get my guarantee Shenhe, and then I win a 50-50 for C1 Shenhe, I'm more than happy with that, I think. But I'm not going to pull for C1 Shenhe until I test it and feel if it's necessary or not. So it's going to be something that I'm not going to... If it feels like C1 is necessary to make the build realistic as possible, I'm not going to recommend it to literally anyone. But I'm still going to probably do it as a showcase for something that is possible within the game when you think about doing wacky creative things like that. Alright. Send. A little bit more. Okay. And then I'll have to go farm some Whopper Flowers on my account. I think I already have the gold ones of these, by the way. Because this is the level 80 ascension. Let me double check. Oh, well, that's the wrong screen. Brain, you can brain better sometimes. We're looking for cups. Cuppies. Yes, I do have enough. Okay. I need to convert one of them over, though. Convert. Okay. There we go. So that should be enough for the resin material for both of the last ascensions, and we just need to farm more of these. Okay. I can't do any more here, though. Alright. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy. Well, hope you continue to enjoy hybrid riding.
Don't run.
I almost logged out. Leave team. C1 is able to get all stacks. Oh yeah. I think I mentioned this to Sylveon a while ago, and I think Sylveon did test that. I forgot. I don't know why. So yeah, C1 is able to get all stacks of sauce, and it is bonkers. I love it. Awesome. So there you go. Sylveon is the proof of the concept. I haven't been able to play with it myself, but I conceptualized it a while ago when I was doing all my hybrid riding thinking, and I was like, oh wait, Shenhe. So, what artifacts were hybrid Shenhe? So probably, well, okay. Depends what team you're doing. The problem is, right, so like, I don't know. Ask Sylveon. If Sylveon's the one that's actually probably messed with this. The thing is, like, if you're doing hybrid Shenhe with sauce and you have C1, you can consistently get the stacks, right? Then it's a matter of, like, it depends on what your other teammates are. And if you are consistently, if she's applying enough pyro that she is consistently melting on her burst, then I honestly think it just makes sense probably to use Emblem most of the time. Since her ER needs are going to be potentially significant, right? But it depends on what exactly you're doing for your teammates. Since the core is just doing Bennett and Shenhe together, you have some flexibility. You could probably do things like, you could do something like doing Rosaria. You could do Rosaria. You could do a cryo teammate, right? And there'd be reason to, like, cryo teammate is probably the main way you can make the energy work, right? Duh. It reduced Shenhe's ER needs by having a cryo teammate battering her. But then you could also do things like just, I don't know, Farina, right? You could do Farina, and if you're doing Farina has the benefit of potentially making you have a lot more increased damage by nature of 4-piece Martial Say Hunters being a thing, right? And then that could balance out your damage more between your normal charge attacks, plunging attacks. If you're using Cloud Retainer, right, you could do that. You could conceptually do the Cloud Retainer Farina C6 Bennett Vape combo, but on a hybrid Shenhe build, right? That's a team variation you could do. So like I genuinely think hybrid Shenhe has a number of team options. So the answer is it depends. My guess would be, though, 4-piece Emblem for energy needs, or 2-piece attack, honestly. I think 2-piece attack with just the best balance of ER and, you know, crit stats that you can muster, and any EM would be nice and beneficial and whatever too. Would be probably the best option, best balance option, or 4-piece Martial Sanders if you're doing Farina team variations, right? So the one I am most curious to play, though, is the plunge variation, because hybrid Shenhe, right, and this is the one that would have the most ER issues, though, right? Because you're doing 4 different elemental teammates, no one's really battering each other in any meaningful degree. So it'd be doing right C6 Bennett, Farina, Cloud Retainer, Shenhe. I don't know, because you have Hydro in the mix, I don't know how consistently Shenhe would be melting and or vaping. But either way, again, you're adding more reactions in the mix. More reactions in the mix equals more value from your EM. So as long as you're doing some amount of, as long as things aren't just frozen 100% of the time, but even if they do get frozen, right? The concept of doing Farina with it is like, if you're doing Farina, you freeze them, and then you do a Pyro Plunge, and you have a whack ton of EM on this character, and you're doing a Pyro Plunge, you're doing a forward melt when they're frozen, right? With Cloud Retainers, but like you're gonna get like 100k plunges on top of potential other competent damage from her. So that's probably the strongest variation I could conceptualize, but also the hardest to build because of energy needs. And it could use Martial Say Hunters, so you'd really have to prioritize a lot of ER substats to a degree where like it might be that like the best balanced build to get her burst back consistently is going to probably be an ER timepiece on March to say Hunters, and it might be something goofy like an ER timepiece. Like the ideal artifact might be something weirdly goofy specific, like an ER timepiece like this one that rolls 10% into crit rate and then 80 EM or something, right? Like that might be the ideal ER timepiece for such a build. I don't know. It's going to be goofy, and it's going to vary depending on what exact team you're doing. But the core requirement is just Bennett plus Shenhe, Bennett C6 plus Shenhe on Sapphire Scarlet Sands, and then speccing a bit more into EM, and then you got some flexibility for your teammates, so it'll depend a little bit. Did I say Candace? So, anyways. I missed the use cases for Hybrid Shenhe. Are we trying to turn her into more of a damage contributor while keeping her support capacity high? Essentially, yes. It would keep the potential for her to still have a cryo teammate too, with that core. Since the core is just Shenhe and Bennett, Shenhe would be your on-fielder, right? So it'd be relegated to like doing an off-field cryo, right? So I think so. As far as like trying to keep the relevance of Shenhe buffing other cryo damage. If you do C6 Bennett, Shenhe on field. Remember, if Shenhe's on field, she's getting the attack buff from Bennett, which is then compounding the value you get from buffing your other cryo teammates' damage. So, and that's again why like there's a genuine argument to be made for doing two-piece attack. If you're just doing the core of two-piece of Bennett, Shenhe, and you're still using another cryo teammate. So, but that'd be relegated since you're on fielding Shenhe. And using her Pyro application that she's getting from Bennett Infusion to melt on her, hopefully, or melt on your other Pyro units, or Cryo units. Your options for off-field Cryo are not that high. We don't have that many off-field Cryo units in the game. Charlotte would actually be an interesting one to do. Spec Charlotte into burst damage off-field. It'd be front-loaded, but she actually might be able to front-load a lot of damage. Layla would be a potentially interesting option to spec into damage for. I think Layla has HP scaling damage, doesn't she? Yeah. So that would be an interesting option because Layla does have off-field HP scaling damage. That could be spec'd into. And I do have Caesar Layla, so that's actually someone I should add to the list of trying. Rosaria, obviously. Kaya, obviously. Ganyu is off-field cryo. So okay, actually, you know what? I take it back. I thought there wasn't that many off-field cryo options. Honestly, there's a surprisingly high amount of cryo off-field DPS options. So... yeah, these ones would be the most interesting ones to off-field as a unit that could battery a hybrid Shenhe, but also would get a lot of damage increase from Shenhe as well. Sorry for I can let you join to potentially go into your world. I think I'm only gonna have to go into like two more people's worlds. Her hold skill can also nuke for 100k. Nice. And that's AoE damage too. That's 100k AoE. Like conceptually, I honestly like the idea of hybrid Shenhe more than hybrid Raiden even, because Shenhe has this problem of being weirdly, like annoyingly niche in her utility, but turning her into a weird enabling a self DPS contribution engine, like a high DPS contribution to the team from her own damage, on top of still enabling other teams, other units' damage, and diversifying the amount of teams she could be relevant for, is wildly interesting to me. So yeah, I like the idea of hybrid Shenhe. I haven't seen anyone else other than me talk about the idea of hybrid Shenhe. So not with Sapphire Scarlet Sands, at least, I should say. So, where am I going? Let's go. Friends, we'll join in. Oh, Satan with offline. Oh no, they didn't. They're on my friends list now. I'm a dumbass. Don't worry about it. Who was I gonna join? I think I forgot. Mates, I was already in. Okay, we'll join you next, and then we'll check one of the other two people here. You did 2-piece EM, 2-piece cryo, and it was just about getting away with 130, 140 ER? Really? What teammates were you using with hybrid Shenhe, Sylveon? And again, Sylveon has C1 Shenhe. Yeah, what were you running another cryo teammate with her? Okay. I hope Luca was one of the people that wanted me to join. We'll find out. guess we can try to rejoin Taeon as well. See if Will is gone. Does having bad artifacts and throwing whatever on Raiden count as hybrid? I mean, if you have Staff of Scarlet Sands, you do not need... Like, that's one thing I was initially going to have in my hybrid Raiden video. Okay, apparently we're not going to finish this today. Anyone that wants to try to rejoin me. Actually, I guess we can try to rejoin Taeon. If you have Staff of Scarlet Sands, you don't... Like, the main concern is honestly the ER more than anything. Like, I have a very high investment hybrid Raiden on Polearms Only, and I can... It's better because it's you know, has more substats that are relevant. But oh frick, you still got people here. I'm not farming with one character. Sorry.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
So anyways, I'll let someone, anyone else that wants me to join their world, join my world, and then I can join yours. We'll do that rigmarole. It was a while ago when Sauce was on Banner. Off the top of your head, you did Fab Bennett, Fab Kazuo, and Xiangling. Okay, interesting. I feel like... Actually, that's an interesting idea. I guess someone like Kazuo can be an off-field cryo unit. Kazuo can be an off-field cryo unit. Because he can infuse cryo, right? You could do something like Shenhe... Do Shenhe's burst or something. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the rotation... The rotation would be weird. But... Apply some amount of cryo. Probably just do like a Shenhe tap skill is my guess. Sweet, okay. I'll try to be faster this time and not get distracted talking about things for 10 years. So you apply some amount of cryo, do Kazuo burst quick, infuse with cryo, and do whatever other rotation things. Oh boy, all the people. Okay, we got plenty of people. 3 people should be more than well enough for drops.
I have a few references.
So you do... Shenhe, like, just do like a Shenhe tap skill, do Kazuo burst to infuse with cryo, and then, you know, do your Bennett, blah, 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 and yeah, Kazuo can swirl cryo, potentially, you can still get the potential melts. Yeah, that's actually interesting, okay. I didn't even think about that. And Kazuo can still get potentially meaningfully increased damage from off-field by purposely infusing him with cryo. Like, you could do a very weird build on Kazuo, even, in that team, that's not just a VP build. Because of how much damage Kazuo himself could get, but most realistically, you probably just leave Kazuo on a normal build. Is the easiest option. But anyways, all right. Thank you. I forgot who was first. I think it was Flower. So we're gonna kick you out, and then I will join someone else. Yeah, I can. So yeah, if 130, 140 ER was enough for a C1 Shenhe with Sylveon's hybrid Shenhe, I think with a C0 Shenhe, it'd probably be doable with 160 to 180 is my guess. Like, I don't know, it's weird. I haven't tried to math it out. But if Sylveon was fine with 140-ish, that's a very good sign with C1 to be clear, you know. Again, without it, because you need so much more ER potentially with C0, it might just be not as competent, especially when you can't get max stacks as easily outside of AoE situations. Like if it's a team that's relegated to AoE situations specifically to be able to get max stacks and actually like utilize the passive on Staff of Scarlet Sands, it's not as useful of tech, right? And that's my worry, is the balance might not be good enough. And I think Flower's first, right? So we'll go to Flower. Unable to join Flower's world. Oh, they're probably loading. That's why. God dang it. They're loading, so I can't join their world yet. Alright. Yeah, YouTube is spitting. Yeah, YouTube literally tells me, we recommend you use a stream bitrate of 6,800 kilobits per second. Yeah, I was. But my internet/OBS said no. Whatever, it's fine. It's not lagging for my viewers. It doesn't matter if it looks poopy. Rotation was janky, but starting was to catch cryo. Yeah. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. Okay. You know, it's been going for like 3 hours and 20 minutes. It should not have taken this long to level this weapon. let's try to finish this. Alright, I think Flower was first, and I think it was a Catatiel. second. I don't know. We'll find out. We might not even need it. How did I get on the freaking... How did I get on the track of talking about this, by the way? With Hybrid Chen, huh? I have no idea. Hu-tao. Okie dokie. And... So let's... No. Do this. Do this. Do this. Navigate. Okay. Let's see how many we get. My guess is we're going to need to do it into one more person's world after this. If you do skill burst rotation, you can squeeze on an extra skill for more energy, but you really did want to catch fab particles. Yeah, that's not too surprising to me. I figured. Yeah, it might be a... Oh, I swapped out Chun-Li instead of swapping out Candace. It might be a technically hard team to pull off. By no means do I... Or do I think that the Team Sylvain is necessarily a perfect team. Whenever you're introducing Animo to the mix and trying to like truly maximize your damage with abusing Animo to its strengths, setups can get weirdly clunky and specific. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to stick. If I do Hybrid Shenhe and I really like it, I don't think I'm necessarily going to stick to it 100% of the time, like with Kazuha or anything. I think part of the value of it is really that, you know, you could potentially do a number of different things with it. Do a number of different teams.
With the wind.
With the wind. This is a very pretty area. I want to do this. I do want to do this quest sometime on my main account just because I've seen the area and I like this aspect of like quests causing like visual progression in things happening in like an overworld area like this area. So also there's a chest here for this person for Flower here. Oops. Can we get the rare drops, please? I would appreciate that game. Straight south. Change glider. What glider? What? On Hu Tao? What? This glider is the best match for her. She has a brown outfit. What? To this? I don't know. It doesn't look bad, I guess. Like, it's good. Orange does contrast well. Orange is just a lighter brown. Like brown is dark orange. So I don't know. Is this one you want me to use? I'll use that, I guess. If that upsets people. I don't think the default one looks bad. I like it. Right. Hello, Lee Jordan. I assume that's the one that makes sense that people would want to see. Hello, sir. Time to die. Let's try to use my burst so I can heal up a little bit. I should really be doing like N2C or something so I can stop running out of stamina. What's happening? We are, if you just joined, we are farming, trying to end the stream. Thought I was going to end it like an hour ago, but then I just decided to say F it and join people's in co-ops because we are trying to do what I should have done literally when 4.0 started. And we're leveling up this weapon for Polearms Only. Because I think this weapon, when I want to use Staff of Scarlet Sands on a different character on Polearms Only, like on Hybrid Raiden most notably, it's kind of glued to her at this moment in time. I would like a good option for Melt Rosaria that doesn't require me to crazily change her build, right? And I think the new Battle Pass weapon is probably the closest thing to that. Particularly if I get some extra refinements for it. I don't know if I'm going to get R5 for it, but I have R2 of it right now. I don't know why I switched to Zhongli there. Lag. Back please. Thank you. Still not getting any of the higher tier drops, but whatever. How's the new Abyss? I don't think... Well, the new Abyss cycle is just a new blessing, right? We haven't had new enemies yet, so... I should check... I have no idea what the streak is at on Polearms Only, but I've had a streak going since before 4.0, if I recall. So I've been trying to for a while on Polearms Only. I only really cared to get 36 stars one time when there was a new enemy cycle. So like there's a couple times where I only like 27 stars, and that's just like it wasn't worth the effort to like get one extra wish when it took like 2 hours to clear. But the account's now at a point, especially with Chevreus's release, but also having C3 Raiden, of course, that I think most abysses are going to be not too hard to 36 star, even harder abyss cycles for the account. I think we are past the days of it taking me 12 hours to 36 star an abyss cycle for the first time on this account. But we'll see. That'll be the true test of my mettle. If there's an abyss cycle that takes me like 12 hours to clear again, am I really going to want to like take 12 hours to clear that every 2 weeks? I don't know. I might lose my sanity. But anyways, we've had quite a long streak going, and I'd kind of feel sad to lose that, is all. I can go check the abyss after I go back to my account. Alright, alrighty. And now running out of brain operation power because I hit the 3 hour mark, by the way. Usually the 4 hour mark, I'm just like, now I'm just vibing. That's fine. We'll be done soon. I have other things I was planning to do today, but probably not doing them anymore. I have D&D Sunday nights in about 2 hours from now, so I don't exactly have that much time to do the other things I was planning, but oh well, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. By the way, if you're a live watcher and I've missed any super chats, I don't think I've missed any super chats this stream. Thank you for those, and I apologize for missing them, because I either get stuck in my own head sometimes, or I see them and I'm like, I'll answer that in 10 minutes, or after I, no, not 10 minutes. I'll answer that in like after I'm done thinking the thought I'm thinking and saying that, because like if I interrupt my own train of thought, I know that I might just like never actually finish the thought, and when I'm trying to say something. So I see a super chat sometimes, and then I'm like, I'll answer that in as soon as I finish this thought, and then I finish the thought, and I had forgotten about the super chat. I feel really bad when people send money, and I like don't respond to them. So, anyways, and YouTube does not have a very good system. Like I can't like message people after the fact or anything. There's, as far as I'm aware, I have no ability to do that. So, anyways. Yeah, most of the stream was just rambling. This is one of my more traditional streams, I think, in memory. I meant for this stream to be fairly focused on just like talking about Xiao, and then I was gonna end the stream, and then I rambled, and I rambled, and I rambled, but it's fine. I've still kept it focused on Polearms Only, which is cool. But well, for the most part, wouldn't say Hybrid Chenna is the most Polearms Only centric conversation, but it's been, I think, a fun stream. For me, at least. Hopefully for you too. Alright. I think this is probably the last one it's going to lead us to. Sure, I'm not the first to say this, but you have a very relaxing voice to listen to. So I've heard. I cannot relate to listening to my own, like, I have the same problem. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. I mean, I appreciate it. Obviously, it's nice for my ego. But the weird thing with people saying that to me is like, I still have the same problem. Like, I'm used to it at this point, to be clear. But I have the same problem most people do when listening to their own voice, where it's like, my voice sounds really weird. So I don't exactly vibe to listening to my own voice. I don't think it sounds unpleasant or anything. I've very much gotten used to it. Because I have to listen to my voice a lot when editing constantly, so I've become very aware of like my like speaking tics and whatnot. I don't know if I've improved that much at them, but that's why I think that's why you see a lot of like as people like are making like let's play content, especially on YouTube. Like I think Northern Lion is a really good example of this. Of like if you look at Northern Lion's very early videos, He speaks very differently than he does nowadays, and it's probably just an effect of he heard himself talk a lot, so it's that he became hyper aware of like his tics, and that he just slowly changed how he spoke over time, right? Anyone when you're doing work that's like involved in using your voice a lot, will just change naturally. But when in particular you're doing some amount of video work, you're listening to yourself talk a lot, right? But Northern Line doesn't edit that much, so maybe not. The dude literally would just like record and edit raw videos without like editing them at all, which is freaking hilarious to me. But anywho's, I want to get rid of some of my weird like idiosyncrasies and like tics, whatever you want to call them, in like my speaking. Where's the thing? There it is. In my speaking habits, but it's hard. It's hard to like consciously recognize when you're doing the things that like why do I say that so often? It's hard to recognize and not do that. But anyways, I'm glad people just enjoy listening to me ramble, because it's also enjoyable for me to ramble, and that's nice. It's a good exchange for all parties involved and on a communication level. Silly Trail, Hilly Trail, Billy Billy Willy Trail. That's not the line. I don't know why I said that. But what was I doing? Oh yeah, duh. Trying to finish the stream by finishing this weapon. Ascend. Someone retracted a message. What'd you say, Crispy? I'll never know.
Sun's out, bathe in sunlight.
Confirm.
But when the moon's out, bathe in moonlight.
Well, we have exactly enough. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Flower. That did not take long. I mean, it took me a long real world time. Thank you. Anything you want to say to the world, if the world only is 63 viewers. They're really thinking this one over. Not really. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you again. Okay. What do we need? Oh, water flowers. Yes. Okay. I was like, we needed something, right? Thank you to the other people that joined and offered to join. I mean, you're on my friends list now. My only requirement, if you're on my friends list, by the way, like you can send me messages. It's not like, oh my god, I hate you, Trevor, for sending me. Like, no. No. But just don't, like, send me messages every day when you see me logged in or anything. If you want to, like, on occasion, do it, like, maybe. But, like, I'm talking rare occasion. If you start to annoy me, like, because, like, whenever someone sends me a message, it appears in the bottom, and it stays in the bottom for, like, a good few minutes. Don't do that, please. Like, don't constantly message me in-game. So if I remove you from from friends list, in Genshin, it's not because I hate you, it's just because, like, I don't like having the stupid message pop up constantly in the bottom left. That's all. What are we doing? Whopper flowers. I'm focused. Can I navigate? There we go. Okay. What? Why? Can I click on Jesus? The UI, man. I don't understand why it doesn't just magnetize my mouse to the waypoint when I do something like that. But no access messages, yes sir. Okay, you little sneaky.
Right.
And when I'm streaming, as long as you don't send messages that are like obviously terrible, then we're fine. Be a not terrible person, and everyone is happy. This is not the team I want to use for daily farming. But stop freezing me! Oh my god! Why does it have to be raining?
Illusion shattered.
Okay, alright, thank you. All right, switch teams, so I don't have to lose my mind here. Switch to the ultimate farming team. Blam. There we go. Overload is really, really great for overworld farming. New amount of respect for you. Only playing Polearms was a struggle. Yeah, I mean, this account was was a bit of a struggle for a while. It no longer does, obviously, but all things are overcome by hyper investment. No. I don't think Polearms Only is the hardest like weapon to choose if you're doing to do such a challenge, but I also don't think it's the easiest. And it is really fun to try to work around the downsides and continue to be successful in Abyss and whatever. So a reminder to the end before I end up the stream to check the Abyss right before I end. I want to see what the streak is at. I should probably keep a record of the streak somewhere, because eventually it will stop recording it. I think it only goes for a little bit over a year. A year of Abyss cycles, which I've been playing Polearms Only more than a year now, right? So I don't even think it has the full history of Polearms Only Abyss attempts on there anymore. I figured the knockback from Overworld would be a pain in Overworld. No. The Overload just does nice instantaneous damage, and you don't have any... The knockback usually causes people to not interrupt whatever the F you're doing. I should have done. You butthole. He dodged. It stuns them enough that like people overestimate the amount that like Overload knocks back sometimes. Like, he was getting triggered Overload there. He moved from here to here. Oh my god. Like and like in Abyss you can control it if it does cause problems. The big issue in Abyss is when you have multiple enemies and an Overload, right? If there's an enemy here and an enemy here, and you have an Overload that's like triggers by hitting the enemy right here, it's you know, right? So between the two enemies, it's going to push them apart from each other. That's the issue. When you're just killing things in Overworld, when they're so squishy, that additional Overload damage that just happens the moment you have the two elements that happen is like, I don't know. I find it highly convenient for Overworld. I really, really like Overload teams for Overworld in general, especially early game. But now with Chevrolet existing, I find them really nice for late game too. And like this team is my ultimate like just Overworld team now, because of all these characters have the ability to do damage. And notably, they can all do damage. Well, other than Xiao. Well, Xiao can a little bit, but with how this team works and how it's always getting Overload damage whenever, all these characters' interactions together can deal damage without having to burst, notably. And it makes it a really nice and comfortable Overworld team. What do you think is the hardest weapon to do a challenge account with? Probably Claymores is my guess. Just because Claymore units tend to be not as good. It'd either be Claymores or bows, realistically. It's just that bows has a lot of specifically strong characters that would help. Like bows has Fischl, for example. But I'm pretty confident it'd be Claymore. Definitely not Sword. Sword is just objectively easier. Like look at all the sword characters. Like, you got Farina, you got Hatham, you got Kazuha, Ayata were competent, you got Nilou, and you can do full Nilou teams. It would require, you know, some mix of Kirara, Hatham, but you still have decent Hydra options too. Although, well, actually you don't necessarily have good healing Hydra options, but so that's actually a problem. So I shouldn't. So Nilou might actually not be as usable as I'm making out to be. But anyways, you got Dendro. Notably, you have the Traveler, right? And you have Dendro Traveler. That's not on the list here. You have Bennett, you have Xingqiu, right? Like, swords is just, yeah. I'd say Catalyst. It's hard for me to compare Catalyst and Polearms. I'd say Catalyst and Polearms are probably relatively comparable in difficulty. Bow has Farazan C6 as a possibility. If you get Farazan C6, Tignar is a really good character. Yelan's a really good character. But like, the way that these characters, the problem with like Yelan though is like, okay, how many of the bow characters actually do normal attacks? I mean, Yoimiya, so that's good. So like, there is like a Yoimiya core here going on, but you don't have Bennett, you don't have much for interruption resistance options, even other than Diona, I guess. So I don't know. I feel like because of how many competent enough bow characters there are, right? Like, you have some grouping, you have a much better Animo unit option in a bow than you do for Polearms. So I don't know. Bow is just like, it's just awkward because of the interactions of different bow characters between each other might not be that very synergistic, because of the variance of bow characters. But I'd say bow, polearm, and catalyst are the most likely to be similar-ish to each other and just have their own nuances. Well, then claymore, you look at claymores and you're just like, hmm, 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 hmm. And the reason I say for some of these characters is because like you have none of the things that actually make these characters work. Like, what do you have to like Ito's? What do you have to make Ito work? You have nothing. You have like literally nothing. So, yeah, it's not like you can't do interesting things. But I feel like Claymore is by far the hardest. And as far as I'm aware, like Noblies, is the main person that is like committed to doing a Claymore only series, and I think he is still working towards 36 starring. He might have 36 starred recently, because like Navia is probably a pretty decent help. I imagine Gaming is a nice option, but again, you don't have the like almost every Claymore. I think like I could go into be like, the ways that I can conceptualize these being used usually wants not Claymore characters with them. So, right. Claymores is the hardest one for me to like think about. Ways to like clear content. Therefore, it's probably the hardest. That's my guess, at least. Noblies hasn't 36 starred yet, right? As far as I'm aware. I think. Whoa. Okay, there was an occasion of an overload knocking something to Kingdom Come. That was funny though. Can I not have leg, please? Thank you. Internet has been consistently shit the whole day. I freaking love it. Okay. I changed my router recently, by the way. I got a much better router now. And I have the ability to do wired internet setup as well now. And still have these internet issues. So it's the internet provider, pretty sure. Yay, which is not surprising. DSL bulk crappery, whatever. Anyways. There's no Hydro Claymore either. Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. That's probably, if there's a Hydro Claymore that releases that, it'll probably be the realistic tipping point for Noblies being able to clear, even if they're not very good. Like, I think Candace is better than most people give her credit for. It's just Hydro. There's so many ridiculously overstacked kits in Hydro units that Candace is just obviously in the lower tier of Hydro units. So it's like, but she's still very useful and does a lot of interesting things. I really like what they did with Candace's kit personally. Can you stop teleporting? Can I stop having annoying lag? So, anyways, yeah. Candace is good. Good enough to be a very important unit for Polearms Only. Like, I would argue she's in like the. I mean, it's not like there's that many Polearm units, but I would argue she's in the top 5 at minimum. And for a long time, she was like the #1 most important character. But now that we have like Chevreuse, I'd say the balance has shifted a little bit towards Raiden, Hu Tao, Xiangling as far as importance to the account goes. But it's still a little bit weird to say like any individual unit is like, whoops, I didn't do that. Any individual unit is like vastly more important than another on Polearms Only, because well, some of them aren't necessarily. Mika could disappear and nothing would change. But like it's the collection of them that, and they're all important. Like, you know, and what enables me to do the things I can do on the account. So they're all important to some degree or another, as long as they're not Mika. And so sadly, it's like Xiao and Mika are probably the least necessary units on the account at this point. Xiao is useful, to be clear. It would be a loss to not have Xiao, because VV is nice, but it's yeah. Anyways, you get the point. I think hopefully, I don't know if I'm coherently stringing these thoughts together well, but. Alright, I think I probably have enough. Let's just go try to craft them. So yeah, if there's a Hydro Claymore, I think Noblies would be able to 36 star, apply some amount of Hydro. As long as the Hydro Claymore that releases is not the Mika situation for Claymores only. Like, Where Mika is a cryo unit, that doesn't really apply cryo. You know, as long as they apply some about hydro, I think that might be what tips Noblies over to being able to clear the content in the game meaningfully. Hydro is an important element. All right, let's craft all the things. I need to have enough for Hu Tao still as well, but it's not like it'll be that hard to refarm for Hu Tao. Is that enough? I have no idea that's even enough. Wow, all the refunds. Waiting for the day they release a new animal polearm and Xiao gets replaced. I mean, if man, I was like, for a while I was like, it makes a lot of thematic sense for Cloud Retainer to be a polearm. And I was wrong, obviously. I think she's a better character by being a catalyst, to be clear. If you just have her exact kip and now she's a polearm instead of Scavenger. Because there's better supportive weapon options in the catalyst category versus polearms. But, like substantially better options. But, yeah, if she was a, man, this account would have gone wild for having different options to deal with different things if Cloud Retainer was a polearm. But alas, not the way of the world. That's fine. Let's. Wait. Okay. Do I have enough? I hope I have enough. Yes. Good. Send. Blam. Finally, done with this. Never have to do that again. Good. Can I click off of this? There we go. Okay. And blam. It's a 27.6 crit rate. She is at 71 crit rate. Nice. It would have. I never actually checked what her crit rate would be at. So with her passive, that's 83% crit rate. I'd say it's a little bit imbalanced of ratio, obviously, but I think it's fine. And yeah, for Melt Rosaria, I think this will be more than competent. Realistically, I should probably. Wait, is this the same? No, it's not the same crit value. Do I have? No, I don't have an attack percentile because it's more balanced than that. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, she has when Rosaria has this passive going, right, that's now 280 EM. How will that compare to Staff of Scarlet Sands? I don't know. I don't know how it'll compare, honestly. But I think it'll be good enough. I think it will be better than Jade Spear. And it probably, particularly with higher refinement. So I haven't done the math. But either way, like my current situation is like, I really like keeping the second copy of Staff of Homa on Chevrolet now. So no longer is Staff of Homa an option for Melt Rosaria. And on top of that, Staff of Homa being a crit damage weapon requires changing artifacts around if I'm not using Melt Rosaria and Staff of Scarlet Sands. So the goal and the ideal for that was just being able to have like, okay, if I don't need to use Staff of Scarlet Sands on Raiden, I can use it on Rosaria. And if I want to use it on Raiden, I can use this instead. And I don't have to frick about with artifacts. One build is good, and that's why I wanted to level this, and I should have leveled it a while ago for that very reason, but you know, laziness. So anyways, might get refinements for it just because I also think it's funny that like I don't know, I don't think it's worth doing, but I do think it's genuinely funny that it becomes a better Hyperbloom weapon for Hyperbloom Raiden than Dragon's Bane. if you get R5 of it, because it can have 240 EM instead of 220 from Dragon's Bane. Which is really dumb. It's dumb. It's a dumb reason to get refinements on it. They're not like so. But I might do it. We'll see. But I skipped like I think how many patches have there been? There's been 4 patches, right? So I could have R4 of it right now if I had bought it every patch. But obviously I didn't buy it every patch because it's just really unnecessary to have to get the battle pass every patch for Polearms Only at this account at this point in the account, because I don't need the Mora. I don't need the Hero's Wits. I don't really need the talent material. Like I don't need anything from it. The only thing of additional value it really gives me is the Prima Gems, which is not that much. So the Witches, right? But it's technically cheaper than doing Topos, but again, I don't really need to. And then the Fragile Resin isn't technically useless, but that's just resin. It doesn't really do that much. So, anywho's. But yeah, Jade Spear is a good option, to be clear, by the way. The only problem I have for like the secondary option for that same vein, the only problem I have with Jade Spear for Melt Rosaria is like, one, attack doesn't scale as any additional attack percent that Rosaria gets does not scale with how Shenhe's buff works. And on top of that, it's 22.1% crit rate, so her crit rate goes down into like the territory of like I'm not satisfied with it being at 66%, right? But it's also not so low that it's like, okay, should I do a crit damage circlet or a crit rate circlet? No, I shouldn't do a crit rate circlet. But okay, how do I get more crit rate then? Well, I lose my mind farming for more crit rate substats. Like, right, like, So when I already have such a good build, right? It's like, no, it's just unsatisfying. So and it doesn't scale as well. Like I'm quite confident this weapon for Melt Rosaria, for how I'm using her, is better than an R1 Jade Spear. I could be wrong though. Yeah, but it's mostly just because of the interaction with Shenhe. And yeah, so that's good. I think that's an improvement, but I'll have to mess around with it in my lonesome. I'm a little bit hungry and a little bit tired. I would have tested it on stream if it didn't take me 4 hours to do that and ramble about Xiao. But it's fine. There you go. There's some content for you if you're hungry. Just have some content to listen to me ramble about baloney for 5 years. Blam blam. That's the stream. Hope you enjoyed the videos made this weekend. Next week, I have some stuff planned. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't actually know 100% what it's going to be. I actually have a plan for a sponsored video that might just be like an account fixing video, but I don't know. I haven't actually received the item in the mail yet. It was an unexpected sponsor. It's not even, it doesn't even, like, it was, whatever. It's not an expected sponsor for a gacha game channel, so, anyway, that's all I'll say. It's a fun one, though, and it's a product category that I think actually has meaningful value. It's an expensive product category that has meaningful value for people to buy, and I haven't normally been doing sponsorships because usually it's just not worth the time to interact with them, and I don't have a good way to, like, I'm just not, like, motivated enough to be like, yeah, let's wrangle and be like, I think you have to pay me this much up front or whatever. In this case, the product they're giving me for free is enough that it's expensive enough that it's like, okay, I am comfortable with this on top of the commission-based payment system for the size of my channel. But I also still, I don't know, I haven't done enough sponsorships to actually know what the value is. Like, if I make a video that gets 10,000 views that's sponsored, how much should I be asking from a sponsor? Right, I have no idea, and I just haven't bothered because it's not necessary for me at this point in time. But in this case, I think the product that will be valuable, and it's an expensive enough product that gives me value. It's something I would have bought in the future myself. Not necessarily from this specific brand. I would have maybe researched more brands, but this is a brand that I know about that is trusted. I know makes decent quality products already, and I'm comfortable saying that I support them, essentially. And, anywho's. Yarp. Look forward to more garbage in the future. I'll probably have a video when 4.5 comes out about the new banner and trying to actually, you know, want it to be wishing content, which is always entertaining. And then, it'll be my takes on the weapon ban or the new banner system. I'll probably have a video soon-ish with that new banner too. I'm gonna use the new banner, I think, as an excuse to properly end off Weapons Only. If you watch my live streams, you already know Weapons Only is properly dead. But I do need to give it a proper send-off, and I'll probably use the new banner as an excuse to talk about it, because there's been a few people that posted, it was like, hey, the new banner is good for Weapons Only, right? It's not. It's really not. So, anyways. Happy you're getting sponsored? Thanks. Thanks. It's mostly just a free product to me, and then, I don't know, maybe the video will do well, and maybe if a meaningful amount of people buy the thing, I will make some money off of like, the referral link and whatever too, but I suspect the main value I'm going to get out of it is just the fact that I got the product for free, but I'm comfortable with that for what this product is. Since it's something I would have bought in the future anyways, that is a not insignificant purchase. So, yeah. Anywho's. It's an Apple Vision Pro? No. I'm going to sell the Apple Vision Pro soon, but anyways. I didn't buy the Vision Pro just for the freaking the engine video, by the way. I bought it because of my general interest, but I'm just rambling about